Hello, everybody, and welcome to GameList, a show about our game of the year, 1 month at a time. And this is a special episode, kind of. They're all special in a way.
Yeah.
I'm Jake. This is Colin. Colin, what's poppin', homie?
Dude, I'm like jet lagged right now.
I was gonna say I'm hungry. Are you also hungry?
No, I just had some slim chickens.
Chicken's best name in the game.
Yeah,
Very jealous.
They didn't give me a straw though, so you're gonna be hearing ice go around for a little bit.
It's kind of pleasure, like a pleasure for some people. I think that's like an ASMR trigger or some shit, right?
Oh, really?
I wouldn't know. I don't watch ASMR videos on the internet.
Oh, hold on. If you like ASMR, here it is. Here it is. I've got a mango Pepsi. I'm about to crack open.
Oh, good pick. Yeah, you fucked it. Unfortunately, that was not good. It did not.
What do you
it did
mean?
not get picked up at all on your mic.
Oh,
Your Discord filters are too strong, bro.
Come on.
I am realizing right before we started that I am wearing the same shirt that I wore last time. Different pants, but you can't see those. So video viewers are looking at me and they think that I only own one outfit. I swear I have many clothes. Colin's dying. This is a fucking strong start to the podcast. This dude took one sip of mango Pepsi, spilled it all over himself. You gotta watch the video version.
Oh,
he was just fucking coughing and dying.
I
Wrong
was
pipe, my
joking.
guy?
It went down the wrong hole. Yeah, absolutely.
Wrong hole. A classic.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Colin just got back from the Game Awards. I just watched the Game Awards. It's Saturday. The Game Awards were Thursday. Is that correct? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Correct. It's Saturday during the day. And again, Colin was at the show, so we've got some behind the scenes stories. So we're going to start off like that. But let's just do a little bit of housekeeping. GameList, as you know it, is the same 10 months out of the year. 9 months out of the year. I think things get a little sloppy in November, in December, and then January is kind of a double episode where we have like our actual Game of the Year podcast.
They get sloppy in like Summer Game Fest time as well.
Yeah, they do get sloppy. So
you know what? We're fairly regular though.
I think so. So things are a little bit different than they typically are. We'll still be talking about what we've played over the last month. We'll be putting it onto our Game of the Year list. But this is the penultimate episode of the show. The next time that you hear from us will be in the new year, where we will be talking about where everything falls on our Game of the Year list. The Game of the Year list as it stands probably won't change all that much unless we play a little bit of catch up in between now and when we have that show to sort of like round out each other's lists and whatnot. I'll try to play some of the things that Colin misses. Colin will try to play some of the things that I miss. But for the most part, let me re-explain the hook for our show. Or Colin, do you want to talk about like the reason why we do this? Because like I'm talking about like every other fucking podcast is unlistenable in December.
So as much as I love listening to Game of the Year debates, but what Jake and I decided to do was let's split up our Game of the Year debate or talk into multiple discussions throughout the year. So throughout the year, we talk in depth about our favorite games and we update our Game of the Year list, starting with a blank slate in January. So we are about to wrap up our second year of this, which is insane. And then at the end of the year, instead of kind of arguing which game is better, we're just going to be talking about what we loved and presenting our final Game of the Year list to everyone. So yeah, it's our Game of the Year list 1 month at a time. Maybe
the problem is that like so many other outlets get super contentious. Like the debates become like fights about video games, and Colin and I fight enough about video games
absolutely
and disagree on things. So when everybody else is having their almost uncomfortable episodes, like they're the episodes where I think a lot of outlets are at their worst, Colin and I have our jolliest podcasts in December and January, where the dust is already settled. We've already had our debates. I've already made fun of him for putting Zelda so far down his list. He's already made fun of me for not putting Spider-Man 2 at Game of the Year or not even playing Alan Wake 2. It's already there, and everything that we're doing in January is like superlatives and accolades, like the best thing, the game that you want to talk about, the best game that you played that didn't come out in 2023. It's all fun in games, baby, because that's what podcasting should be about. And speaking of fun in games, you had some fun in LA at the Game Awards.
I did.
Tell us about it.
Well, I was in LA for work for the week, and technically I was in Anaheim, but whatever. And
So
it just
half
worked
hour,
out.
40 minutes, right?
Yeah, depends on the traffic. Could be like 2 hours, but traffic is
Yeah,
pretty
true.
fair for me. But yeah, so I was in Anaheim for a work thing, work/school thing all week, networking with pharmacy people. And then I said, you know what? The Game Awards is right down the road a day from now. So I extended my trip by about a day and bought a ticket to the Game Awards, which this is the second time I've gone. I've been very lucky
Yeah.
to
You had a year off. You did not go last year, but you went the year prior. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. So I didn't go
Got it.
last year, but I went the year in 2021. So
Right.
2021, it was still closed to the public. That's the year that we were offered tickets by Jeff Keighley.
Yeah. Yep.
And you somehow, for some reason, said, "Nah, I'm good."
I'm not going.
And-
Yeah. Very
just
poor decision
didn't-
on my part.
Yeah, I think so. But then last year they opened it back up to the public where you could buy tickets, and then that's
It's
when
kind
the
of a
stupid...
flex to decline Jeff Keighley's invitation, right?
No, I think it's just a poor decision.
Okay, yeah,
I think...
you're right.
Yeah,
You're right. No, you're right.
I don't think that's a flex.
Okay. Very cool.
But yeah, so they opened it back up last year, and then the stupid Bill Clinton kid walked up with Elden Ring. Everybody remembers that.
That's right.
Which, fun fact, he was back this year, and then they found out and they escorted him out at near the end of the show.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they gave him like a cease and desist almost or something, but
Probably trespassed his ass. You're not welcome.
yeah.
here at this theater.
They trespassed him. Yeah. My roommate's yelling at something. Hopefully the mic doesn't pick that up. But
Doesn't
anyways,
pick it up. But you've broken the immersion. Excellent work.
Oh well. They kicked him out, and I got to go, and it was great. I will say it was not as great as it was in 2021 because it was open to
Yeah.
the public,
We're just part
and
of the crowd.
there were like I love video games, but the video game community's got a problem with taking showers and wearing deodorant.
Mhm.
And it's tough because there's a lot of smelly bastards there.
Yeah, for sure. Anyone that's been to a convention or a GameStop knows.
Yeah, absolutely.
It sucks.
Yeah, so it was tough because I was having to sort through these people that I didn't really talk to.
What was the
or
attire?
anything.
Were people wearing like ratty t-shirts and shit too? Like, is it?
It was the whole spectrum, dude.
Yeah.
It was ratty Dragon Ball t-shirts all the way up to a full tux.
Yeah.
So it was everywhere.
You threw on a jacket. You looked classy.
Yeah, I think mine was not too fancy, not too
For sure.
casual.
You weren't like, you're not part of games media technically, right? Like you're still not like, we're not invited. We're not on the panel or anything like that. Like we didn't get a press pass essentially. And then you're also not up for an award. So I feel like you're in the upper tier of like being presentable for an award show. You know, when you go to the Oscars, you suit up whether you're fucking part of the crowd or if you're getting like, if you're nominated for best picture, best director.
Yeah.
But you thought we'd be empty-handed. So here's the thing. We're an audio podcast first and a video podcast second, but let me tell you, our video podcast stuff is pretty cool too. I know what you're thinking.
Good.
How do I see this? It's easy.
YouTube.com/@.
YouTube.com/.
To us on Patreon or support us on Patreon.
It's all free, baby. YouTube.com/@GameList show if you'd like to see the video version, because we're going to spend a little bit of time looking at some of the pictures that Kaulin took. We had him out there rubbing elbows. We were encouraging him to meet as many people as he could, and you kind of crushed it, bro.
I did my best. I feel like
really
I still
good
came
job.
short on some things, but I did my best.
I think you did good, but again, I mean, that's we should do a little bit of housekeeping too. Still top of the show. We're still under 10 minutes in. Of course, we are GameList. I am Jake Twitchin on all platforms, or AmazingStreamer.com to find me wherever the fuck you'd like. Kaulin is at Kaulin_ on all platforms, KAULINE_. You can also find us by searching GameList in your favorite podcast app, which is probably how you're already listening to us. I appreciate that. Fucking like and subscribe and press the buttons that make our brains feel good. But also go find us somewhere else, either if it's individually or if you just go to the YouTube and like a video or watch something there too. Helps us out a ton, more than you would ever know. I put together all of the pictures that you sent me in slides. I don't even think you know the order in which we're going to be going through them. I'll kind of like, I'll guide us through it, and you can add to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the first picture I have is you outside the main entrance, I'm assuming?
Yeah, that's the main entrance. It was before they'd opened up the gates or anything. I actually got there a lot earlier than I wanted to because it was so much cheaper to book an Uber like an hour earlier than if I waited. So I just booked an Uber an hour early and just hung out there for a while and caught a lot of people passing by.
Because of that, yeah, that was a smart move. I have you here with motherfucking Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat, dude.
Yeah, so I met Ed Boon outside initially and was like, hey, dude, love Mortal Kombat. I'll be honest, I've never played a Mortal Kombat game.
It's so fucked up. You need to now. You actually owe Ed Boon.
Although I have played Injustice 1. I played that.
That counts. That's an Ed Boon directed game.
Yeah, so I was like, love what you do, man. And then just went on our way. Because I try to be very unintrusive with talking.
And then what happened? Did somebody shame you in a Discord chat?
Yeah, then you were like, you should have gotten a picture. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
That's what I sound like. Oh, my voice cracked as I said that.
You did it. That was perfect.
I fucking hate it here.
But then the show was about to start and I saw him walk by and I was like, hey, man, can I get a picture? So I got a picture with him. And a lot of these are selfies.
Remember you from earlier?
I don't know. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I don't know.
Not.
These people look so dead-eyed a lot of the times. You know,
I think a lot of the people here, like the reason you were super apprehensive, like I'm the fucking come with guy. I'm like, hey, let's go ask if that person is the person I think they are, and if not, what the fuck does it matter? I'll never talk to them again.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm the opposite.
I had to push you in that direction, you know? And I think my rationale for it was, like, I sent you a message at one point, and I was like, what's the worst thing that happens? It's the wrong person, and you're embarrassed for a millisecond, and you never see that person again. And then the best case scenario is that these people are so excited to take pictures because a lot of these people are, like, small indie game journalists or developers that most people wouldn't recognize on the street. This is their big night out, and they get to feel like a celebrity, which is even more important than you feeling like you met a celebrity quasi.
I did almost mess up near the end. I thought I saw Yuri Lowenthal because he was wearing a mask, and he has kind of like pepper, like salt and pepper gray hair.
Sure.
And I thought I saw him, so I was good look. So I was walking up to take a picture when this person took their mask off, and I was like, shit, that's not Yuri Lowenthal. And then I ran away.
Dodged the bullet.
Yeah.
You met these two people that I can definitely name. One of them is Alan Wake, kind of.
Actually, they're both Alan Wake.
Oh.
So the one on the left side of the picture is Ilka Vili. He is the face of Alan Wake and the performance of Alan Wake. Yes. And the one on the right is Matthew Peretta, who is the voice of Alan Wake. And he's also, did I say voice twice? I might have said voice.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry. The one on the left is Ilka Vili. He is the face and the performance of Alan Wake.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah, you got it right.
Yeah, the one on the right is Matthew Peretta, who's the voice of Alan Wake, and he also plays Dr. Darling in Control.
So, wait. When the guy is live action on screen and talking, it's not his voice coming out of his mouth? Correct.
It's a dub. It's a very well done dub.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like ADR post. I mean, it's not unheard of, but that's pretty cool. Good one for you. Yeah. You're big in that shit,
dude. I was losing it. The way this actually happened was I had texted you. I had messaged you. I wasn't sure if you were still streaming and if you wanted like a in the show call or something.
Yeah, I fucked up.
Well, I'm happy you did because right after I sent that, I had my head down sending you that message, and somebody bumped me and said, "Hey, could you take this picture?" And it was him getting a picture with Ilka Vili and Matthew Peretta, and I said yes, and then I instantly followed up and got a picture myself.
Did you say you take one of me?
Yes, exactly right. Exactly right. That's exactly
one of your better pictures too, because somebody else took it. All right, we'll fly through some of the games media ones because that's not a big deal for anybody other than us. But actually, it's kind of a big deal. I feel like there's a lot of crossover.
I want to.
You met Janet Garcia. Did you have was a lot of this like pretty quick pictures?
Very quick. It was a hey, big fan. Can I get a picture? Hope you have a great night. Pretty much.
For sure.
So
Blessing
Janet,
is the worst picture that you took.
I have stories. Okay, Janet, very short.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Love Janet, very short. And I walked up to her and I said, I said, "Hi, Janet Garcia from MinMax," and I put emphasis on MinMax because I know Ben will ask her, "Did people say MinMax or Kind of
Oh,
Funny
good
more?"
call.
So I said from MinMax, and she was like, "Yeah," and I was like, I had to give Ben that one. I gotta mention MinMax first, but I also
Yeah,
love
for
you
sure.
on Kind of Funny.
Yeah,
Um,
good
so
shit. From the same show as Blessing.
yeah, Blessing Adeoye Jr. I took a picture with him. I walked up. I was like, "Hey, dude, big fan. Love your work. Like, love your voice. Like, the specials that he puts out and stuff are
Mm-hmm.
always wonderful." Um,
Yeah, the Blessing show.
so
Good shit.
yeah. So somebody offered to take a picture of us, and both of our eyes are closed, and it was
Yeah,
miserable.
killing
And like
it. You
all
guys are in the
three of
zone.
them. Yeah, it was okay. It's okay though. I feel better with my eyes being closed that his eyes are also closed. So
For sure.
it's good.
You met Tamor and Lucy from Giant Bomb.
Yeah, so I
And
was
GameSpot,
walking.
technically. I guess GameSpot is maybe the bigger accolade there for them.
Yeah, so I was walking by them, and I saw them. I was like, "Oh, that's Tamor and Lucy." So I walked up and I was like, "Hey, Tamor and Lucy," and shook their hands. I was
Hey,
like, "Love your work, guys."
you'll never
eh,
guess the question I'm about to ask.
what?
Tamor and Lucy fucking.
Oh, I don't know, man. I think a Kitten
They
Krista
seem
is
like
more
they're-
so.
Oh, we'll get to that, bro. At this point, we've really fucked up our podcasting career, to be quite honest. Because
If anyone
we
ever listens.
Okay. Listen, I don't think it's going to be many people's first time listening to GameList, but if they didn't listen to last month, we happened to have a conversation based off of the... we were talking about the Disney Dreamlight Valley showcase, which I was really hot on, and we were talking about Kit and Krista, and it somehow came up our Kit and Krista an item, and as you can imagine, it went too far. and then we left it in the show because who the fuck cares? Whatever. It's 2023. We can talk about these things.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
A little awkward that mere weeks later, Kaulin bumps into Kit and Krista outside the show. And not only that, these are the first people that Kaulin, all right, sends me a Discord message with a picture of Kit and Krista from like across the street and goes, "Is this Kit and Krista?" I said, "Yes, get a picture. Don't mention our podcast."
Dude, I was like, I think that's Kit and Krista. And then as soon as I walked up to them, some other nerd walked up and was like, "Hey, Kit and Krista, I love your stuff. Can I get a picture?"
You a Nintendo Minute?
Yeah, so
you know
I
what's
was
crazy. I don't know. I don't think you follow them on anything, but right before they saw you, they were at dinner with Reggie. They posted a picture like at dinner with Reggie because they were super tight for years. He was the president of Nintendo of America, and they were Nintendo Minute. They were doing the podcast and the Treehouse Lives and all that stuff. I think they spent a lot of time together, so they were able to meet up in LA, which is pretty cool, like lore. But would have been cool if you met Reggie too, of course.
Yeah, that would have been cool. I did see Doug Bowser walk by, and I didn't get a picture with him.
That's right. I made fun of Doug Bowser's bald head.
He's very small, but he's kind of intimidating.
Yeah, he's got that CEO energy. Like he might sexually harass you or something. I don't know. I'm sure he's great.
Anyways, I met
bad video game industry joke. Then this is a really good one, I think. A good pull.
Yeah.
Meeting Ben Starr is a hot ticket.
I was outside Starbucks. So I was actually I feel like a creep for the way I did this, but there's a big hotel between the show, like the Microsoft Theater, or there's a street between the hotel and the Microsoft Theater, and lots of the big people just stay at this hotel because just walk away, like so close. And I was just standing there, and that's where I saw Kit and Krista. That's where I saw Ben Starr. That's where I saw Sarah Bond, that I should have gotten a picture with. That's where I saw
I think in
Doug
10
Bowser.
years Sarah Bond is going to have Phil Spencer's role, right?
Absolutely, right.
Head of gaming at Microsoft, Xbox or whatever.
So Ben Starr had walked out of his hotel, walked into Starbucks, and I said, "Jake, Ben Starr just walked into Starbucks. I'm gonna camp outside.
Yeah,
And then
for
I was standing outside and I was like, F it, I'm gonna go inside. So he was just standing there waiting for his coffee, and I was like, hey, Ben Starr. Also, this was the most nervous I was all night, was meeting Ben Starr. He has an energy about him, dude. He's awesome. He's so like electric and so kind.
He's the hottest person in the room, and it's not fucking
Absolutely.
close wherever he goes.
100%.
And
his voice is so attractive too. He has a wonderful voice. But I walked up to him. I was like, "Hey, Ben Starr, loved you in Final Fantasy. Loved you as Clive. You did a wonderful job. You're nominated for best performance. Like, you got my vote. Like, it was wonderful."
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, I'm getting like the pre-show jitters out with this coffee in case I win. I was like, hey, you totally deserve it. And I was like, also said, you're really dope for helping out MinMax with their little charity auction stream with your little
the dating
thing.
Sure.
Yeah. So, and then I asked if I could get a picture. And I was like, all right, well, I'll get out of your hair now, but have a great show. But Ben Starr was one of the few people there are a few people that stand out that I met. Ben Starr was one that took time to ask about me, and he was like, well, what's your name? What do you do? Are you in the industry? Like, he would ask about me, and it was very kind. It was very kind guy. Greg Miller.
Oh, we'll get there. Well, we can do it right now. Greg Miller. That's fucking awesome. And you know what? Greg's got the personality that would be the case.
Yeah.
He seems like a genuinely good dude.
Absolutely. Greg Miller, I walked up, I was like, hey man, love your stuff, love your voice. And when I say that, I don't mean like the sound of their voice. I just mean like the fact that they're saying important things.
Like making fun of PC gaming and
yeah, exactly. But I was like, I literally just
troglodytes.
Just watched your retweet that you did of your speech at the Game Awards or your old speech at the Game Awards. He's like, hey, it's not that old. He said, I'm not that old. And I was like, yeah, you're right. But then I was talking to him and he was like, so you're in the industry? And I was like, no, actually, this is like I do this for fun. I'm actually a pharmacist. I was in town for a pharmacy thing. And I was at that moment, I was like, yeah, I actually have a podcast. And he was like, oh, really? And then right at that moment, some other dumbass interrupted, stepped in between me and Greg and said, hey, Greg, I'm really a fan of your work. Can I get a picture? And I'm like, Jake, I was moments away from pitching GameList to Greg and giving him our QR code.
You got to do it next year.
Moments away. And then afterwards, Greg was like, you want a picture? And I was like, absolutely. And then he gave me a hug. He was so kind. He gave me a hug.
It's a good picture too with the arm on. He knows his stature.
I hate that they're all selfies and everything, but I didn't have any options.
Yeah, for sure. So. Next year you'll have me with you. We'll be trading off.
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go. You took a prom picture with Mary Kish.
Mary Kish,
from Firescape, the head of Twitch. I feel like we always say like she's from Firescape. She's the head of community. I think that's her role. The head of community manager.
Yeah, something like that.
Queen of the community, I believe, is the official role at Twitch, which is a big role. She does all of the like keynote addresses at TwitchCon and shit like that. And
awesome. I did say love you at Firescape cast because I don't really care about her role at Twitch, but
cool. Very cool.
I think she has more fun at Firescape anyway. So
yeah. Paris Lily.
Yeah, Paris. I told him, I said, love what you do again. I had the same kind of intro for everything.
You're allowed to.
But I was like, also said, now I'm a PlayStation man, but I do love to hear you on Kind of Funny.
He's on XCast. Yeah,
I know.
He plays everything.
He chuckled at it. I don't know if it was a politeness chuckle or if he actually was like,
yeah, I'm sure he's having a good time.
He was very nice. Also very kind.
Last but not least, Daniel motherfucking Bloodworth. I don't think you listen to Easy Allies as much as I do, nor do you really have, like, you know who he is, right? Like, you've seen this man before? No?
Never. So I feel so dumb taking a picture with him. Jake, I turned around in line. I was like, man, this looks like the guy that Jake told me to take a picture with. So
yeah, dude, I love Bloodworth.
I scrolled up in the chat with you, and I was like, yep, that's him. I was like,
I said, you said who, and I sent a picture. I go, you can't miss him.
Yeah,
he's the only person all night that's taller than you.
I literally walked up to him. I was like, yo, Blood, can I get a picture? I was like, I don't know if people call him Blood, but that's what I said. So he was like, yeah, he was literally right behind me in line to get in, like,
hell yeah,
right there. And I got a picture with him because I figured you would appreciate it. So
good stuff.
This is the one that definitely felt like the most like corporate shill I've ever been. I don't even know who this person is. I just know they're
yeah,
important.
you need the photo up. And then here's you cheesing in front of the Game Awards stage. This was a cool picture to get before because we didn't get a look inside the venue. We hadn't seen the stage all night, and you sent this to me like 40 minutes before the show even started, and that was cool because I streamed this whole thing also. Chat, if you guys, I call everybody chat now. I did this on the night of the fucking show. Okay, we're watching the Game Awards, and it goes to Eiji Onuma. You know who that is?
No.
The director of all the Zelda games. And I go, oh, Onuma's in chat. I go, okay, that's actually an audience. That's not my chat. That's not how the world works.
Yeah.
But, listeners, if you do want to see some reactions and see, I think what I've done a poor job of here is pitching that there's like a half hour, 40-minute conversation between you and I on Discord video, where we kind of like, you send to me these pictures as we're going. We're talking about what you're seeing there and what we're doing over on my YouTube page, because I streamed like an hour and a half early on the Game Awards so that you and I could kind of connect and do like a little bit of a pre-show thing from afar. So that is available if you kind of want some more stuff. But when I was live streaming it, this was a cool picture to get to show the people that were watching live, because we kind of got an inside scoop, I feel like, for like, oh, this is cool. We get to see inside the building before the show actually begins, which was rad.
You should have asked for more pictures. I could have gotten more pictures like that.
Yeah, who knew?
I hate that picture specifically. I was kind of pissed.
That's good.
The cards. So like last time I was there, since it wasn't open to the public, I went up on stage last time and took pictures on stage. This time, since it was closed, since it was open, and because of the crap last year, it was so much more locked off. There were guards everywhere, and they wouldn't let me. Yeah, they wouldn't let me anywhere closer to the stage than that. So that was as close as I could get. And there was actually a security guard hiding under my shoulder. I was like, "Can I get a picture?" And he's like, "Yeah, just be quick so other people don't see you." So he let me get up close and get the picture. So yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of how to go over like the Game Awards results, because they don't matter all that much. It's kind of more just like,
I think it's
interesting for us. Let's just
is it on the list? Is it on the list?
Yeah, I did it. I updated it and I wrote down like who got what right and whatnot. So,
okay, I can do it. I can read through it.
Yeah, but it's not good. It's not good content. You know what I mean?
No, I think it's good because I won. So
all right, let me crush through it. We can talk about it extremely briefly if we really want to, but what I mean to say is I don't want to spend much time here, because this should be like, listen, if you're listening to this, maybe you should fast forward 3 minutes, you know, like this isn't all that interesting, I don't feel like, and I don't have like slides for it or anything. And they're not in order either. So most anticipated, I'm not going to do personal picks of what we voted for. You can go listen to the prediction show if you want to listen to that.
This is just a bet to see who won.
This is it. So I'm going over who we predicted would actually win and who got it right. For most anticipated, we both thought Rebirth would win. Rebirth won. We both thought for best adaptation. Fuck, man, I'm never gonna get that right. The Last of Us is what we both thought. The Last of Us won. For best multiplayer, I thought that. Oh, didn't Baldur's Gate 3 win? Did I do this backwards? Baldur's Gate 3 won. Oh, you stomped me. I actually have my tally wrong. I recorded that incorrectly. I guess Street Fighter 6, you guess Baldur's Gate. So that puts you at... Oh no. Don't spoil the numbers. Don't spoil the numbers. Best sports and racing, I guessed FC24. You guessed motorsport. It was motorsport. Best sim and strat, we both guessed Pikmin, it's Pikmin. Best family, we both guessed Mario, it's Mario. Best fighting, we both guessed Street Fighter, it's Street Fighter. Best RPG, we both guessed Baldur's Gate 3.
You suck at
And I fucked this one up too, bro. I was live when I was recording this. Oh my god, you fucking stomped me. Holy shit. Are you in this right now? Are you looking at this?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Dye those green for me?
Yeah.
Best action adventure, you guessed Tears of the Kingdom. I guess Spider-Man 2 because I'm an idiot, I guess. And Tears of the Kingdom 1, thank fucking God. Get the Baldur's Gate 3 one that I fucked up too up there. Best action, I guessed Hi-Fi Rush. You guessed Remnant 2, and I don't think either of them won. Something else did.
Neither of them won. I don't remember what it was.
VR, we were both wrong. I guessed Horizon, you guessed Gran Turismo. RE Village won. For accessibility, we both guessed Spider-Man 2. Forza won.
I cannot believe Forza won. That's crazy.
I guess it's got a lot going on for it. For best community support, I guessed Final Fantasy 14. You guessed No Man's Sky. We were both
Baldur's Gate
wrong.
3 won that
Baldur's
one.
Gate is crazy. Best mobile, we both guessed Honkai Star Rail. We were both correct. Best debut indie, we both guessed Cocoon. We were both correct. Best indie, I guessed Sea of Stars. You guessed Dave the Diver. I was correct. Best ongoing, I voted 14. You voted Cyberpunk. You were correct. Games for Impact, baby. We both guessed Chia, and we were both correct. I'm so happy Chia got to bring home a fucking game award. That made me so happy. They have a great, none of them were there. Shu went up and accepted it because they had that partnership for PlayStation Plus.
Yeah,
which was really cool to see Yoshida up there. But also they posted, it's Awaceb, AWACEB are the developers of this game. They have like 2,000 followers on Twitter. Tiny little fucking studio. They posted a reaction of all of them in the room winning. It's like 20 seconds long. It's such a cool video. It'll make you feel good. If you want your heart to be full, go watch that. Best performance, I guessed Idris Elba. You guessed Yuri Lowenthal. We were both wrong because the guy from Baldur's Gate won, whose name I definitely remember, but I'm just not saying it now.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
Best audio, I guessed Alan Wake 2. You guessed Alan Wake 2. The answer was Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Good for them. I'm glad they got to take one home too. They did spread the wealth, honestly.
Yeah, they did.
Which was nice this year.
Truly.
Best score, you guessed Alan Wake 2. I guessed Final Fantasy 16. I was correct.
I still think that's a travesty that Alan Wake 2 didn't win when they literally played a musical number from Alan Wake 2 at the Game Awards.
Yeah, but it's the fucking moment, man. If it would have come out during, the month that Final Fantasy came out. If Alan Wake 2 would have come out in July and Final Fantasy 16 would have come out in November, then we would have been watching a Final Fantasy 16 performance probably. I don't know.
No.
Recency bias. Best art, Alan Wake 2 won. You got that right. I guess Tears of the Kingdom. This is where you fucking swept me in like the 4 biggest categories. I got none of them right. You got all of them right.
You let your opinions blind you.
I know. I did a bad job this year. I really did. And I won last year too. I went back and looked. Best art, I guessed Tears of the Kingdom. You guessed Alan Wake 2. You were correct. Best narrative, I guessed Baldur's Gate 3. You guessed Alan Wake 2. You were correct. Best direction, I guessed Tears of the Kingdom. You guessed Alan Wake 2. You are correct. And game of the year, I guessed Tears of the Kingdom. You guessed Baldur's Gate 3. You were correct.
And I was correct.
You got 17 correct. I got 11 correct. You fucking smoked me. We did
Absolutely
off of yeah. We did do picks for the esports stuff, but it was mostly us guessing, and we actually deleted the first like 15 minutes of the podcast where we were talking about that shit last episode because it wasn't interesting. Neither of us had a horse in any race, and I ended up like somehow getting 5 out of those 6 right by guessing off of names alone, but it doesn't count. You smoked me 17-11. Good stuff, dude. Way to keep your ear to the ground and have a pulse on the gaming world.
On the gaming community. Yeah.
That's it to talk about for the Game Awards. I'm just kidding. There's so much more to talk about the Game Awards, bro. This was such a banger show. We got to talk about all of the announcements.
So actually,
I have them.
I do want to talk about that quickly.
Sure.
Your opinion on the show. You're dreadfully awful at overhyping things and then being let down after. How did you feel about the show? You haven't actually talked to me about it.
Yeah, I had a good read on the show this year, man, because I overhyped it. Whenever the good news about overhyping things is when something comes out and it's hype, I look right. And it's the best thing to be right about. This is a great fucking show. I honestly think this is one of the best Game Awards ever.
Really?
It's tough. There's maybe bigger like surprises at other Game Awards. Like last year's Hades 2 announcement was really spectacular for me, and they opened the show with that. It's almost what God of War could have been if that DLC was like a standalone pseudo sequel, like a Miles Morales type deal, and not.
I will say that was the absolute loudest the crowd ever got that night.
Yeah,
was
because
for God of War.
That pop was for seeing Kratos and thinking that they were getting a sequel. It wasn't for it was free DLC, you know.
It was still just as loud at the end as it was at the loudest point of the rest of the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. I guess not maybe. I guess you're right because you were there. But yeah. I think I don't know. overall, the show I think was really good, and I think it was impressive mostly because there were 0 leaks. Nothing was really leaked out. Like there was like a lot of speculation that we'd see Monster Hunter and stuff like that, and some of the bigger stuff has maybe been teased in the industry, but we didn't know that we were going to see it there. I think that they did a bang up job, and I think it was there's been a lot of people that are complaining about what the Game Awards are, and it's a conversation that, again, we kind of focus on like funny negativity and a lot of positivity here on this show. So I don't want to get into like what the Game Awards should be and if they should take a stand against layoffs or if people need more time to accept awards. But my stance on that is that the Game Awards this year is the perfect balance. And I know people want to say, well, get them their flowers, blah, blah, blah. Well, and it's like, listen, if you like having your 10 to 30 million viewers for the Game Awards, if you like having people get excited and multi-stream this thing, you need to let Keighley continue doing what he's doing and build the hype machine. Because if this was just 2 hours of people handing out awards and fucking accepting things, you'd be streaming it to fucking 50,000 people.
Yeah, can I actually
go watch the Dice Awards
real quick?
Yeah, you can, for sure.
People, so there's a picture on Twitter that's going crazy, a please wrap it up picture, like on a
go
TV,
watch
on
the
a teleprompter.
Oscars, man.
People are like are under the assumption that that's new this year because of Christopher Judge's speech last year. This isn't new. It's been like this forever. They had that whenever I was there in 2021 before Christopher Judge's 7-minute long speech. They gave developers instructions saying, "Hey, you do this. You have 30 seconds to give a speech. So have a 30-second speech prepared." Like, they're not blindsiding these people with the fact that they only have 30 seconds. They know this going into it. And I think that people that have, I don't know, hard feelings that developers don't get longer to talk, I think there's a reasonable complaint there. I would like for the winners to talk longer. I would be okay listening to them talk longer. They deserve it. But I don't want people. I think the misconception that this is a new thing and that Jeff Keighley's just shutting them up to get more ad revenue, I think that's the wrong way to look at it. That's just how award shows are.
Even if Jeff Keighley is shutting them up to get more ad revenue, who the fuck are they to say that I should have more time to talk? You didn't pay admission to get into this thing. You were invited out here. Yeah. You were brought on this fucking multi-million-dollar stage because of what Keighley and his company have done to create this show.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking democracy. Like, this is
no.
It's easy to just think about this as like the video game industry. It's like the Academy Awards are just an academy of people who are putting these things on. Like, if you go and look at other award shows, this is carried much differently for a reason. This is something that's built from the ground up. We're on the 97th annual Academy Awards. This is the 9th Game Awards. You know what I mean? 9th. Like, he had like the VGAs or whatever before this on Spike and whatnot. But for all intents and purposes, this is a very new thing, and it's put on by people with a lot of passion for the industry, and they're making something that is entertaining first and foremost. And if you don't have those reveals, if you don't have people coming out and announcing video games, then you don't have the viewership that you want, and you don't get your moment in the sun and in the spotlight that you wish that you would have had comparatively. If this was just awards, you'd be making that acceptance speech not to millions of people but to thousands of people. And I think that difference, if they had to trade, they wouldn't take that fucking trade. This is what allows.
That's why people don't watch the DICE Awards, is because there's nothing for people that get excited about new things to see.
For sure.
And sure, it sucks, but like, I wasn't there to watch the developers get awards. I was there to watch new trailers in person.
I think you got an ample 30 seconds.
And I also,
like, it's not me being unappreciative of developers and the hard work that they do.
Absolutely not. Yeah, it's just how it is. It's not a democracy, and people get they get butthurt that Hideo Kojima gets 7 minutes on stage when the winners get 30 seconds. It's Jeff Keighley's show. What are you going to do about it?
When you make fucking Metal Gear, then you can... Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you, man.
Also, I will say, one of my complaints, I think it was less so this year, but I wish we would stop inviting so many celebrities, I guess. 'Cause this year, I say it was better, I think, because Matthew McConaughey gets a pass because he's in the game.
Sure.
God, I've forgotten. Anthony Mackie, I think, is kind of gets a pass. He was in Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal video game adaptation, and it's up for
adaptation, and it's up for an award.
Yep.
and he evidently his like his kids, or he's a video gamer or something there.
I gotta have a gamer in the family.
Simu Liu is a gamer, so
I think he's maybe the one that fits the least.
he
Walton
was
Goggins
also there.
in the cast from Fallout is good. Yeah, he was there 2 years ago. I remember.
He was there too. Simu Liu was there when I was there last time. But
also,
Simu Liu's in the game. So I mean that's a pass there too, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then there's Timothy Chalamet, who
Xbox 360 modded controller.
Yeah, so it's like I think this year they did a better job than past years.
And listen, man, you can't decline it's the same thing as like advertising revenue is like if you can get Matthew McConaughey on your stage, man.
People are gonna watch Matthew McConaughey.
That's a retweet like that you really want to have, you know?
I think the games industry is slowly moving away. What?
I'm just thinking about Walton Goggins given the fucking
oh my God.
What did they present? Was it best adaptation? Yeah, it was. It was for yeah, it was. Oh my God. Okay, adaptation. Best adaptation.
It was it was Xbox giving PlayStation an award.
Okay, so here's what happened though is he reads the fucking list of names and all that, and he goes, and the award for best game, like this guy is ready to get the fuck off the stage.
Yeah.
But then also he just said best game is The Last of Us, which is not like there's a case to be made there. Like it is kind of fair, and he did technically award it. So when people ask you what the best game is, Walton Goggins he chose.
He said, dude, it was funny because when he said that, everybody in the place like leaned over and they said he said best game instead of best adaptation.
So funny.
Also, that guy, Lord help him, but he's an ugly dude. Like if he can become
motherfucker, Uncle Baby Billy,
can become famous, maybe I can too.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, but that's
you know what I was thinking, bro. You look a lot like Sam Lake.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it the hair?
A little bit the hair. If you grew it out a little bit more and did it, rocked the pinstripe suit, and then just did like the cowl that he kind of does, like you could do it. You could pass as Sam Lake's kid.
I'll do it.
Is Sam Lake your father?
Well, that would be so cool. Except the fact that I'm like probably like a whole foot taller than Sam Lake.
It's true. Do the dance. You put the hands up and then you put them down and
be the champion of life.
Yeah, see the spinning image, Sam Lake.
Which you guys were surprised to see that I was actually tall in those pictures. Lots of people.
I think I knew that you were tall, but I think chat was.
You did, but chat thinks I'm short. I guess just because I'm always sitting down. And then
chat
whenever
thinks I'm like fucking 5'3".
Yeah, what is that? Why do people think we're short?
I've got like 6'2" energy, bro. I'm like 5'10" and 3/4. But you got to under promise, over deliver.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Whatever.
Should we get into the games that were shown off?
We should. Remember how we said we were gonna let this segment run 20 minutes? We're fucking game listing right now. We're game listing so hard.
I think it's a good conversation to have.
Good conversation. Yeah, it went places I wasn't expecting it to as well. Nice to have nice to go back and forth on that kind of shit.
Absolutely.
But some of these we won't spend that much time on, to be quite honest. Like Brothers Tale of Two Sons remake, a game that I never played.
Same.
And I would like to.
I've always wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. This is Joseph Ferris's first effort. Guy loves the idea of multiplayer-ish stuff or controlling two characters at the very least.
Yeah,
pretty cool. And what an excuse to get our hands back on this. Like, this is going to be something that I feel like is just such easy fodder for like March or April's game list episode, where we'll both get through it in 4 hours. We'll both have completed this game. We'll both talk about it, and it'll probably fall somewhere on our early like first quarter list. You know?
Yeah, this isn't being remade by Hazelight though.
Sure.
This is a remake
though, right?
Yeah, kind of. This is the remake by Avant Garden SRL. That's the studio's name.
Avant Garden. I like that's a good name.
Yeah, Avant Garden. So they're remaking
avant-garde type of play on words there.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if they're gonna make it like bigger or anything, but it is the remake. So it's not being headed by Hazelight, but I guess it's got his stamp of approval.
Sure. Exodus. This is the Matthew McConaughey thing that he introed, and it is a Mass Effect looking video game.
Very much so. He started talking about like time dilation and stuff, and I'm like, there's no way we're about to get an Interstellar game. Like
it was very fucking Interstellar, yeah.
I thought he was about to introduce the first game like produced by Christopher Nolan, and I was about to lose it. I was about to lose my mind. And it looks good. It just looks like my type of sci-fi bullshit, honestly. Like it looks really good.
I fucked up the fucking overlay. I don't know what happened. I can't go full screen with my
Do you want to cut and fix that and then
No, not really.
Well, do it. Look,
I'd like it to just work.
Look at it right there. It's messed up.
I think it might be the perspective of just this video in particular. We can play it by ear.
Oh, okay. We'll check a different video to go full screen on.
We will. Let's continue talking about sweet things for our audio listeners. You talk about God of War, and I'll try to get the video working.
So God of War, Kratos showed up. The place was electric. It was so loud, and everyone was going crazy. Unfortunately, I was sat in the middle of a big group of esports people, so they were like the most boring, obnoxious people I've ever seen. Sorry, esports guys, but it was something. It was something, and they were even excited for it. So people started going crazy, and then when they found out it was a DLC and that it was a free DLC coming out in a couple days, people lost it again. Like they were so excited.
The release date is super fucking hype for Valhalla.
Yeah,
and it's an excuse to hop back in for free as well. Like
absolutely, yeah.
I'm pretty on board.
Also, that key art there kind of calls back to the OG God of War key art. I don't know if you've noticed that, but it's with his back turned to the camera and his Blades of Chaos.
Oh yeah,
out.
You're right. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Are you gonna boot up and play this on Tuesday?
I think so.
Is it Tuesday?
Something like that.
Yeah, it feels like it.
I haven't been able to play many games since I've been in LA for a while. So I've got to catch up on like the new Call of Duty season, and I haven't played any Avatar yet. I really want to play Avatar.
Yeah. You wanted to talk about Big Walk? I scoffed. I scoffed here, man.
Dude, this game looks so cute. I feel like it'd be totally up your alley.
Really?
Yeah, it's
something about it.
Looking game.
It's weird to me.
It's by the people that made
Yeah, and I just played Goose Game recently. And
yeah, Goose Game's not for me. Goose Game isn't enough. Me, but like this looks like something that me and Allie will kick back and play, and just enjoy our time on the countryside.
I clocked this as very similar to Bug Snacks, which didn't click with me as well. I only played that for like 20 minutes.
Bug Snacks did click with me, and I got the platinum on it.
Yeah. I don't know. Something off about it for me. I think it's the photorealism with the cartoon characters that's weird to me.
This reminds me of a TV show that I watched.
Can you hear something? Why are you bobbing around?
I'm just bobbing with the characters. They just stand there and bob.
Right.
You know? Am I not allowed to just bob around, bro?
No, you can bob as much as you want. Okay. We're pro bobbing around here.
This reminds me of like, did you ever watch Pingu?
No.
Okay, well, those of you who have ever watched Pingu, you know what I mean.
Pengu?
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen Pingu vibes about it before, or Pingu memes. There's a bunch of Pingu memes. You've never seen Pingu?
No, Pingu.
The freaking little penguin. It's Pingu. Okay. Anyways, gives me Pingu vibes, and I'm just gonna enjoy this with my girlfriend, probably.
You're on it.
Yep.
That one's on you. Real quickly, Prince of Persia: Lost Crown showed a pretty inconsequential trailer. Another good look at it. Kind of more of like the same way that we saw Avatar, where it's just so close to being released that there's nothing really new to say about it outside of the stinger announcement at the end. Did you catch that? The demo?
The demo, yeah, I did catch that. It was a demo a couple days before it comes out, it looks like.
Correct, yeah. It launches on the 18th of January. I'm really counting down the days for that one, to be honest. But we will have a demo on the 11th, which is cool. I think that's a good way to build hype. And I still think that this game is very interesting. Again, the Prince of Persia continuity is a little weird. There's one main universe that everyone knows from like Sands of Time, and then there's one continuity from like the 2008 Prince of Persia. And
which one is the movie in?
None. Kind of inspired by Sands of Time universe though. But I do think that it's interesting that they have already announced that we are not actually playing this game as the Prince of Persia. We're playing as one of his like guards. So I don't know if it is actually a new continuity where it'll introduce a new prince, or if the big reveal maybe towards the end of the game is that we're rescuing the Prince of Persia from Sands of Time and that it's part of this universe. So kind of interesting, kind of cool. And I think this is a smart move to give this kind of like new old take on Prince of Persia a demo ahead of time so that people can get their hands on it and see if it's for them. I think it's gonna be good, and it's a discounted game too. I think that game is only $50 when it launches, if I recall correctly. This is a really interesting one, dude. We got to talk about No Rest for the Wicked.
Yeah, I'm all in on this.
Yeah, do you have Ori experience?
Yeah, so I've played Ori 1 and 2 on my Switch. I will admit I haven't
Religious. That's an Xbox game.
I'm really bad about not finishing Metroidvania games, you know.
Yeah.
But I loved Ori, and this is the next game by that team, and it looks so different, so
Studios,
like dark. Yeah.
Private division, subsidiary of 2K Games, I believe. So it's multi-platform this time. I don't know what
it's confirmed to be on PlayStation already.
Happened. Is it a falling out with the developers? I think they might have asked for some more money from Microsoft, and Microsoft might have said no about Ori, which is crazy because Ori's IP is owned by Microsoft. It's first party through and through.
Is Ori owned by Microsoft?
Yeah, it's just developed by Moon Studios.
Oh, I thought Ori was owned by Moon Studios.
I could be wrong, but this game's got a great art style. Would you say that it's as pretty as Ori? I would say it's not as pretty as Ori. It's like impressive in a different way. It's got a much darker aesthetic than Ori does.
I liked this more than Ori just because I like the dark aesthetic. You know, I'm a freak with like the weird stuff like this.
I do know this about you.
Yeah.
I think it's got beautiful moments. The top-down isometric view is slick. It's gonna be nice to see what this company, what this studio can do, not in 2D. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
And a cool, but honestly, a great reveal and a great trailer. Not only is it CGI, not only is it pretty, not only is it from a cool fucking studio, but there's a ton of fucking gameplay. There's a ton of stuff to unpack here. Like, it's a good time to be a fan of...
You know what the trailer made me think? What if Diablo had a cool art style? This is what it would be.
Oh, it did. Check out Diablo 3.
Yeah, but Diablo
hell and horrors.
Well, that's what Diablo was
not
before.
A cool art
Diablo
style either.
3.
Yeah,
Diablo 3 just made it like
Diablo 3 is so fucking lame, bro.
Yeah.
Diablo 4, Diablo is just so fucking lame in general.
It's unfortunate.
It's just a little lame. It's such fucking, I don't know, a bunch of 40 and 50-year-olds that love Diablo just tuned out.
I'm kind of pissed I bought that game. I was really excited. Played the
too.
The beta and really enjoyed it, and then here we are, and I've still not finished it.
Yeah. The fucking Sega game announcement is the most hype that I might have got all night. I screamed fuck a lot of times when this all happened.
I knew when that happened. I saw Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi, and I was like,
it cut immediately to fucking Jet Set Radio was like the biggest pop for me. Seeing that in gorgeous fucking beautiful HD was so crazy. And then the revelation of like, oh my god, that's Golden Axe, that's Shinobi, that's Streets of Rage, that's Crazy fucking Taxi was just such a mind blow to me. Dude, I am so excited. Do you know, okay, without looking it up, tell me what Shinobi is.
It's a game about a shinobi.
All right, you did pretty well. What's Golden Axe?
It's a game about a golden axe.
All right, yeah. Well, you're pretty much right. It's like that's like an old like beat 'em up Shinobi. You're not far off. Yeah, it's just like a ninja game. Crazy Taxi, you know. Jet Set Radio, you know. You have any idea what Streets of Rage is?
It's a beat 'em up.
Yeah, Streets of Rage 4 came out not too long ago, so that might have popped on your radar. Yeah. Great fucking video game as well.
I remember listening to that.
But really cool. I was really fucking freaking out for this one, and I am beyond excited to see what's next. And when we get updates, it was a little bit like, here's my hot take on this, and I don't think it's that hot of a take, but I think it's something that people aren't really talking about. The common thread here is everyone's very excited for this. In reality, we got about 20 seconds of gameplay total from 5 separate games that are mostly just probably like, if it's even a vertical slice, it's probably CGI and just like proof of concept here, because the last thing that we heard about Sega was that Sonic Superstars sales didn't meet expectations, and their their fiscal year sure does end soon, and I think that shareholders would love to have a little bit more faith going into fiscal year 24. So I think that this is a drop everything. We need a trailer for the Game Awards to make people talk about Sega in a positive light right now, which I don't think is outrageous, and I don't think it's wrong to do, but I think it does explain a little bit of why we saw these games presented in that way, as opposed to just an individual, like, here's Jet Set Radio reveal, here's Crazy Taxi reveal, here's Streets of Rage reveal. Just dropping it all at once and just being like, remember Sega, is a little bit of an odd tactic. You know? We don't see that often, and we watch a lot of shit like this. So that's my thought on it.
If we take a quick step back to the whole Ori thing, I got curious and Googled why they're not working together anymore.
Sure, I'd love to.
Ori is owned by Microsoft. You're right. The IP is owned by Microsoft. But Moon Studio evidently has a extensive like crunch culture, or like allegations. So the article title is Microsoft passed on Moon Studio's next game because of workplace conditions. They're aware of the toxic workplace environment and decided not to work with the company. There was a thing published by Jeff Grubb, I believe.
Yeah.
Like a year or two ago, that talked about the bad conditions within Moon Studio. And then I'll just quote this. Moon Studio's decision to switch publishers was never explained before, but now it's been reported that had something to do with the recent allegations first reported by GamesBeat, which is Jeff Grubb. Windows Central journalist Jez Corden confirmed the report right away and added that both Moon Studios co-founders resorted to personal attacks and bullying towards Xbox teams, resulting in the end of their partnership with Microsoft. So
isn't it so weird sometimes where it's like, I don't know, when you hear that, like, this is fucked. When you hear that Blizzard is like treating people like shit, you look at their fucking weirdo games like Warcraft and you're in like Diablo and you're like, yeah, probably. Like, when someone said like that shit was like terrible at fucking Rockstar Games, I'm like, yeah, you guys make Grand Theft Auto and Bully, you fucking scumbags. But like Ori and the Blind Forest, that was being cunts is so crazy.
And now we see the No Rest for the Wicked, and it's like, well, maybe, I guess.
A little on the nose. If you had to choose another title, you wouldn't be too disappointed.
I know.
Fucking crazy. It's like saying like what's a good example? Like the developers of Viva Pinata, like fucking Rare or something like that, having awful culture.
Like the Katamari team has
the Katamari Damacy team. Like how can you be shitty when you're working on fucking Ori? That's so funny, dude.
Jeez. So that's what we know so far. So maybe be hesitant to support. I don't know.
Go for it.
It's up to you. Whatever.
In 2023, apparently nobody gives a fuck about any of that. Diablo still sold 1 billion copies.
I know I'm still off topic, but can we talk about how poor Insomniac was shafted yet again? They were nominated for 7 awards and didn't win a single one.
In 2023, an 8.5 isn't enough, man.
Dude, one day, because I sat with the Insomniac team in 2021,
and they accepted that, huh? I was trying to rile you up by saying 8.5.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite. It's my favorite type of that game.
It's just in 2021, whenever Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was nominated for things, the team that I was sitting with was they were excited that it was there, but they were tired because their games like always get nominated and never win, and they're like, we just
I remember podcasting about that. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah, so
I feel like they had a better chance with like, I don't know, Ratchet than they did with Spider-Man this year.
It's just a crazy year. It was an insane year.
It was my game of the year that year.
Yeah, it was.
You know what's interesting? This is almost it's year 2 for full game list, but we did start in like October of like 3 years ago because we have like kind of a year 0 type thing that we did.
We had
sort of did our game
0.
of the year.
Yeah, we had an episode 0, which was our game of the year of 2021.
That was a smart way to do it. We're the best.
Yeah. It was good. Sorry, anyways, continue.
Let's be the podcast that spends the least time talking about OD because we don't really have a horse in the race. But
I was in the same room as Kojima. I breathed the same air as Hideo Kojima. Yeah,
for sure. Was it sweet to the taste?
Yeah. Honestly, I'll be honest.
I get it.
I was more excited about seeing Jordan Peele than Kojima.
I get it. Coming out to that, I got 5 on it. I don't
know.
You know that song?
Is that from Key and Peele? I'm so lost.
It's a classic rap song. All right. You Google the song I Got 5 on it and listen to it right now. I'll talk about OD. Okay. So Hideo Kojima comes out. He comes through the door from fucking PT, which everyone is freaking out about now after the fact. And he announces that he's working on a game. Yeah, this is the Microsoft Cloud game from a very, very long time ago that was announced actually on stage at a Keighley event, I think. Or it was like a pre-recorded video in 2021, I think, at the one that you were at, maybe something like that. And this is
that sounds right, or something like that.
Kind of not much to show or say about this, other than it's going to be a little bit weird and spooky, a little bit sci-fi-y. And he's working not just with Jordan Peele, but with a bunch of other creatives that he's calling the Avengers, which probably just includes all of his Hollywood waifus like Guillermo del Toro, Jordan Peele, Nicholas Winding Refn. If you know who that is, he directed Driver's in it. Ryan Gosling is Driver. Drive is the movie. Neon Demon and a bunch of other kind of mid shit, to be quite honest. But Kojima's got famous friends and he wants to utilize them for his games, and he should. So interesting to see where this is gonna go, if you ask me. Are you a big fan of I Got 5 on it?
Well, I just never put together that this was the Us soundtrack song.
Yeah, it was like a dramatic interpolation of
Yeah. I just never put it together. Wow. Love Us. Us is a great movie. I love his movies. Jordan Peele makes
watched Us. A little scary for me.
Yeah, they're probably all
too I don't even watch all of Get Out. Spooky.
Oh,
spooky.
Did you watch Nope? His most recent one?
Not at all.
Oh,
no,
dude, it's
scary.
so good. No, it's not that scary. It's not that scary.
It's pretty scary. I heard there's scenes that you can't forget about and you think about them after the fact, and I don't like that.
Yeah, that's fair. That I love that. That's what I love, though.
I don't like that at all.
Some people were saying maybe he's working with Nicolas Cage on it.
I can see that being the case.
I don't know, man. Jordan Peele is enough to get me in on it.
Hey, I'm realizing we can talk about this one. It'll be easy, but at the same time, can you bring up information on the Zao game? Because I don't have that offhand, and I think we can talk about it better if we have a little bit of a reference point with some names and inspirations and whatnot. Kind of a cool game. But you wanted to add the casting of Frank Stone to this list.
I quickly want to add
massive, right?
It's super massive, and I can't remember the Dead by Daylight team. I can't remember what their name is. But I love supermassive games. I eat them up. I don't love Dead by Daylight, but I will play this because I like the supermassive games. But I just thought
casting of Frank Stone is a pretty good like double entendre, or maybe triple. I don't know, but like cast the first stone is a pretty common saying, and then it also looks like there's like some iron, like cast iron type of shit going on with like his helmet or something.
Can you explain what a double entendre is?
Yeah, it's like a double meaning. Like you can say a word or say something in a way or a phrase that it will mean two things at once.
Okay.
Ow,
so a triple entendre
turning heads like owls. I'm the man of the ow. Triple entendre. Don't even ask me how. That's Jay-Z line.
Oh, okay. But yeah, casting of Frank Stone. I'm gonna play it. It looks like the next Until Dawn type game, but it's set in the Dead by Daylight universe. So they're doing a really good job of getting two big crowds and pushing them into one game. You said get the Zao game, I believe.
Yeah. I would love to hear something about Zao, because it's the gentleman from Assassin's Creed. He voices Bayek, I believe.
Wait, did he voice Bayek?
I believe so. We gotta shout out regular listener, Future Warm Corpse in chat was telling me about this game, and there is some really cool lore behind it. This guy took a big fucking chance. His speech was really good, really heartfelt.
Oh like, yeah, it is, dude. I'm so sad. A little I saw him outside of the place when I left. I walked right past him. I could have gotten a picture with him.
Oh, you definitely could have. at first I was like a little like, all right, we get it, you're a gamer guy. And then he started talking about why he was making the game, and I was like, uh-oh, this game looks like it's gonna be probably a really good time, but also probably pretty tough to work on this game for 4 years, and then 2 years into its development cycle, see that Prince of Persia game get announced, and it looks identical to it. But the game itself does look good, and it's the first effort from his studio, and he's making it for all the right reasons. What's his name?
Abu Bakr Salim.
That sounds right.
Abu Bakr Salim. Hopefully I pronounced that right.
Yeah.
He did play Bayek. Dude, I knew he sounded so familiar. And he played in HBO's Raised by Wolves, which I have not seen. But I was sitting there, I was like, why does this guy sound so familiar?
Oh, Raised by Wolves is the Ridley Scott joint, right?
I don't know. I've never watched it.
Prometheus, Alien. I think it is. But yeah, this game looks fucking good. I bet it'll be a good time. And I think it's got enough distance in between Prince of Persia and when this game comes out that it'll be okay. I think it really does 2024.
Just like Prince of Persia, doesn't it?
It does. It arguably, one could argue that without the license, that it might look better than Prince of Persia.
Yeah, I hope it does well, because everybody in the area, everybody in the auditorium was very receptive of his speech.
Yeah, it's got a lot of like Black Panther type of vibes too, where like it's got like even the sound effects in the soundtrack. It's doing that like that you hear in like
actually really good in Black Panther.
Yeah, right. I listen to that soundtrack a lot, dude. The Kendrick Lamar soundtrack from the first movie.
Yeah,
is so fucking sick. But you can hear a lot of that DNA in there.
It's inspired by the African Bantu tales.
That sounds right. I'm sure it's all inspired by that same sound too.
A quote that he said. A quote that he said in his speech was, "Games to me are the most powerful mediums to share stories. My late father introduced me to the medium, and what better way of honoring him, our relationship, and loving than through this experience."
I mean, it sounds right.
It's big. I definitely, I'll probably pick it up.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fucking awesome. Yeah. I think I will do the same. I'm here for it. And it's like that kind of thing too, is like you and I are the target audience of like that game could be like 80% interesting to us, but seeing somebody like that explain their game the way that they did on stage makes me want to support it even more.
Absolutely. 100%.
Therefore,
100%.
will do so.
Yep.
Let's talk about the best moments of the entire Game Awards.
Oh yeah, I got to listen to that orchestra live. That was awesome.
This shit rattled me so much. We're talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth showing, from Jeff Keighley saying that it was going to be the orchestra, and then say composed by Nobuo Uematsu, who is the fucking granddaddy of Final Fantasy music, still crushing it all these years later, and then playing this brand new song that interpolates some of the main theme from Final Fantasy VII. It was a very overwhelming thing to watch live on stream, and it was like part visual performance, part trailer, part orchestral thing going on, and I wasn't really able to absorb it. But when I did have like a second and I started to like think about like the lyrics and stuff, I started to get a little fucking emotional. I was like, oh my god, this is absolutely unreal. And then it was that combined with the hype of like we saw Sid for the first time and heard his voice, and he sounds fucking perfect. Lots of like Vincent shots. All of a sudden you started to really get a feel of like, this is the first look at all of Final Fantasy VII's remake trilogy. You know, every character is here, present, and accounted for.
I'll be honest, this trailer kind of annoyed me. It was awesome. The trailer didn't annoy me. The reception to it did. It was awesome seeing this in person and listening to the singing in person. It was wonderful. Absolutely beautiful. But it annoyed me because I'm someone who played Final Fantasy VII Remake, not the original. And sure. I've seen so many just straight up spoilers on Twitter since this trailer has come out. I don't know where they're coming from and why people are saying things on Twitter like this, but I've seen things that I know in a way it won't spoil it because it's such a change, but it has me expecting things that
this game is being created. So here's the thing, is that the game assumes that you know who Luke Skywalker's father is. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and I don't.
Well, here's the thing, is that like by a second into this video game, you will know. And it's actually alluded to quite heavily in Final Fantasy VII Remake 1. Do you know the biggest spoiler of Final Fantasy VII now? Can you say it for us? The statute of limitations on spoilers for a 30-year-old game is gone.
Well, but I don't. No, I don't know. I think Aerith dies at some point.
Correct.
And Genova is, or I don't know, Geneva. I don't know. Is like, I just know that's important, and that's about all I know.
Yeah, Genova's in the first thing, like in remake.
Yeah, I know Genova's.
That's not like there's nothing really spoilery about Genova.
Sephiroth.
Like
Sephiroth used to be a friend, and now he's not. He got corrupted or something.
You
Zach
have no
is
idea.
dead.
None of the other stuff is like.
No, I don't know anything
at all. Like the only thing that they assume that you know is basically it's the equivalent of Luke's dad is Darth Vader. Is like you can't put out what's it called? Episodes 1, 2, and 3, the prequels, without the like public assumption of like this is Anakin Skywalker's story, Darth Vader. You know, Darth Vader turns into Anakin.
I feel like Remake did a really good job with me not knowing. Like it was a great experience, me not knowing. So I don't know. I feel like
but the ending of Remake, for the people that have played through Remake already, basically cleared the pathway, I feel like, in some ways, to be like, hey, just so you know, what you know doesn't matter anymore. Because
pretty much the only thing I know is like this is like an alternate universe or timeline or something weird like that.
What it seems to be pointing towards is that not only is it alternate universe, but it's multiple alternate universes, which has already been explored in Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Was it really?
A little bit, mostly in like the scene with Zack where it's like almost
where he
like
was walking to. Yeah, I just thought that meant he was.
The big giveaway at the end of Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is like spoiler territory.
Was that
a
different?
At this point.
Was that a different timeline?
So the way that you indicate that it's a different timeline is something's up if you're a knower, if you're a Final Fantasy VII knower. But the thing that they show is there's a bag of chips that flies by, and it shows the bag of chips has Stamp on it. But Stamp is a completely different dog. It's not the Stamp that we've been looking at the entire time. It's like a little fucking terrier or something like that instead of like a hound. So at the beginning of that, it's sort of indicating like that's their heavy-handed, like, hey, just so you know, this is not, things are not what they seem here in this part of this scene. We'll get into it more as we get into Rebirth, but here's what I'll tell you: don't be hurt about that. I know it feels weird, but I think they're going to pull it off. And the reason why this is so impactful for me, the reason why I love this trailer so much, is because of its subversion of expectations. There's things happening in this trailer that do not make sense to anybody, whether you played Remake, the original game, watched all the supplemental stuff. You can try to figure out what's happening, but there are more questions than answers posed in this trailer. And what happened was they showed a brief version of this trailer at the Game Awards, and now there's a full version of it too.
Well, I saw someone that looks a lot like Jess.
Yeah, Jesse's in this trailer, 100%, singing at the Golden Saucer.
Yeah,
it's gonna destroy me.
I'm into it, dude. I want Jesse back.
100%. It's fucking nuts,
dude. I'll take Jesse over Aerith or Tifa.
Oh, you're out of your mind. And also, I think I'm a fucking Aerith guy all of a sudden too. There's some hot moments in this. There's some good moments. Oh yeah, dude, I was sending you pictures the other day.
You were.
And Aerith. Listen, the way that I'm positioning things from now on is like I'm a Tifa guy through and through forever. But I now ship every combination of characters in Final Fantasy. I ship Cloud and Barret. I ship Red 13 and Zack. Like I don't give a fuck. I want them all to do things. They're fucking too good. It's too good. In this trailer, absolutely triggers me. So I watched it for the first time after the show alone, and I was immediately in fucking tears. And
that's
now,
Jesse.
100%.
Who is that behind Cloud right there? It's like Barret, but in a demon costume or something.
Yeah. You'll get there. And they're all in like, oh my god, it's so fucking good.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I don't understand any of this. I'm gonna go into it blind, just like I did the 2021. Yeah,
you'll have a wonderful time, and then we'll talk about it, and you'll have an even better time speculating and moving forward. Oh my god, they all look so good. I gotta stop this. The music that plays though is so fucking triggering to me. The lyrics and everything. it is legitimately going to be a problem when I stream this video game because I am going to be an emotional wreck. Final Fantasy VII Remake got me, and I knew what was coming, and it still gut punched me because of how well they fucking did it. It really is a fucking mind blow what they are positioning here. I am red hot, obviously, on Rebirth, my most anticipated game, and this was a phenomenal showing for it. I'm over the fucking moon.
Yeah.
Want to get to your game of the show? Blade, baby.
Blade.
This was sick. This was undeniably hype, and I'm not even a big Arcane guy. Sick.
I'm a big Arcane guy.
Did people freak out?
People lost it. Yeah, this was probably the second loudest that they were all night. Was for Blade.
I can imagine.
Yeah, going into it, everybody was like watching the trailer, and I was watching it, and I was like, I was sitting there. Of course, it said it was from the studio that brought you Dishonored and Deathloop right at the start. And I was like, okay, it's Arcane Leon. So I was watching it. I was like, is it a follow-up to Deathloop?
Is it was like a Dishonored 3, but it's modern or something?
But it's modern? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then we got in the barbershop, and I'm like, well, maybe it's Cole from Deathloop.
All of a sudden, I started feeling like, Deathloop 2 was coming up in chat when we were looking at reactions. I was like, oh, this kind of looks the most like Redfall than anything else.
Well,
I got scared for a second.
I was like, oh, I noticed instantly it was Arcane Leon, and it's set in Paris because there was that video of the Eiffel Tower, and I was like, if we get an Arcane Leon game set in Paris, it's going to be absolute fire.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. So, and then I saw the fangs, and I was like, "No, is this like a Redfall update?" And then it was this screen right here. If you're watching the video version, I was like, "Blade!"
And we started putting it together. I fucking said it out loud. I was like, "This looks like. Why does this look like motherfucking Blade?" And Blade comes up, and I think the trailer that we just watched on YouTube also opened with like the Marvel title card thing, like the scrolling pages that you usually see in front of like a Marvel movie, whereas the trailer at the Game Awards didn't do that. It did not tease that it was Marvel until that title card where it says Marvel's Blade, which is a really good way to make people pop. Super cool to see them working on existing IP, an IP that deserves it. But my question for you is superhero genre has been, I would say, saturated, but not overly saturated for a little while. Like, you could argue that like there's a lot going on with like Spider-Man, Marvel's Avengers, and maybe like Guardians of the Galaxy got a bad rip back in like 2020, 2021. But for the most part, it wasn't so bad. It looks like there's a lot of AAA Marvel stuff on its way. Are we gonna have a problem come 2026, 2025? Wolverine, a Spider-Man.
I'm all in. I'm all in. I mean, we've gotten Spider-Man, good. Guardians of the Galaxy, good. Marvel's Midnight Suns, good. Sure. Marvel's Avengers, bad. But whatever. It was one. Okay. It was one bad apple. So I'm in. I'm totally in. I want Wolverine. I want Blade. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity. Also in games, I feel like it's going to be easier to get some of these games out than it would be the movies, just because everything is trying to operate under the MCU banner right now. Sure. And MCU is a little messy right now. They don't have to deal with that in games. They can just do their own thing and focus on their own character. And I think theoretically, in the same 2-year window, we're probably looking at Wolverine. We're probably looking at whatever the follow-up, the pseudo sequel is. What's it like? They alluded to Silk, I guess, probably. Silk.
I guess. Sorry about that.
There's the Captain America and Black Panther game.
Black Panther. EA Motive.
There's the Black Panther game. There's an Iron Man
Black Panther game. You're right.
Yeah. I think it's fine. I think if they're good games, they're good games. You know. One weird thing around this. Microsoft has refused to answer if this is an exclusive.
It is.
I have hope, just because I'm blind and I love playing arcane games, and I really want to get the platinum of this, but they've refused to make comments on it, which has me hoping maybe it's not. Maybe they just don't want to say it yet, because normally Microsoft is the first to get out there and be like, exclusive day one Game Pass. Like they just do that all the time, no matter what.
It's unfortunately it's turned into bad press to say that. You know what I mean? For them, like people will turn around and it's usually a negative.
There's also,
negative.
I think there was this discourse within Xbox where Xbox was saying, "Don't worry, COD's going to be on everything," and these studios went to Xbox and said, "Why does COD get to be on everything, but we don't?" Pete Hines like spoke out about this. Well, spoke out to Phil Spencer, and then the emails were linked. But I wonder,
sued by the FTC.
Yeah, but I also wonder. That's like, I mean, maybe there's a chance. Maybe these studios said, "Hey, we want to put this on everything."
I think for the existing first-party studios, that wish and prayer is out the window now, even more than it was a year ago today, because of the fact that they got contracted into licensing out cloud streaming options for all of those Activision games. Whereas there would have been a better hope for things staying multi-platform within the existing first-party ones if they could make their own decisions with the Activision developed stuff. But because that's not the case anymore, if they already have to ship some things multi-platform, then they are going to be very greedy with the stuff that they don't have to ship multi-platform.
My question is, their hardware revenues down. They're down like month over month. And from what we know, their streaming revenue, or like their membership subscription revenue, has not increased significantly. I don't know. Maybe they're getting pressure from big Microsoft that they gotta make some money somehow, and maybe multi-platform.
They just announced that it's not in their interest to bring fucking cloud service Xbox Game Pass to other consoles for the first time.
Well, I don't think they would do that. I think they would just publish games on other services anyways. Because I mean, I think about like if I am on PlayStation and I have the choice of paying $15 a month for Game Pass or $15 a month for PlayStation Plus, I'm buying PlayStation Plus because it gives me online services. I'm not going to buy Game Pass on my PlayStation. So I think it would make more sense to just publish games. I don't know.
Mutually exclusive. They are different enough that I think that you could pay for PlayStation Plus and then be like, oh, I want to play Starfield. I'm going to get Game Pass for a month.
Well, your mistake there is thinking I want to play Starfield.
Foolish.
But no, it's copium. I know it's copium. Yeah. I just want Blade on my PlayStation and get the platinum for it. So
you want to play Light No Fire?
Absolutely.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm so ready to shit on this. And fucking Sean Murray needs to hire a fucking PR person to come out and talk for him, because that guy is not a good stage presence. He was struggling up there talking to Jeff.
You don't like Sean Murray?
I like him.
I think Sean Murray's just awkward. I think he's
awkward.
Like,
that's why he needs to hire somebody to be not.
No,
awkward.
I like it. I think it's genuine. I think it
hurt me to watch.
I think he's really good. I like Sean Murray. I think he's been very open about the struggles of No Man's Sky and how hard it was to turn around.
Wasn't his option to be open about that. He shipped a game in a very poor state that really you do remember overpromised and underdelivered.
Well, do you remember why it did so poorly? It
was claimed to be a bunch of shit and then wasn't.
Well, kind of, but they had a build of it and their studio flooded and they lost everything. And then they had pressure from PlayStation to push it out, and PlayStation forced it out way too early.
I think even still, if you look at the initial claims of what No Man's Sky is versus what it is right now, it's still not quite.
I think it surpasses.
Ooh, I don't think so. I think it does a lot of cool stuff that we never expected, but I don't think it's quite the vision. And I wonder about this too. Obviously, there's like a bit of apprehension, but if we can look at a game that's had enough time in the oven, because they said they've been working on this for 5 years. I saw a lot of gameplay. Light No Fire looks very cool to me. I think the thing that Light No Fire does well is
the premise of this game is it's one planet. It's one massive planet with like actual geography, like mountains that go miles high and oceans that are
procedurally generated still, but all connected. With like, I'm assuming fast travel, but it's very high fantasy. It has elements of No Man's Sky, but I would almost say that it looks more like an Elder Scrolls type of vibe than, I guess, not Elder Scrolls. Like, I don't know.
It looks alien in a way.
Yeah.
But it's hard to describe. This looks like something that I wish. What was that? What was that one Viking game that we played recently?
Valhalla. No.
Valheim. This looks like a game that I wish Valheim was.
Sure. It looks like. Go ahead. I apologize.
Oh no, you're fine. It's one of those days. It's a massive open world, literally an open world, that everyone shares. Everyone online shares it. So I can only imagine like when it launches, what it has, and then over time, if it updates and they add like more technology, and you see these massive, these massive cities built by thousands of players evolve over time. I think it's going to be so cool.
Yeah, I think what this game hits for me is that if it is this persistent online multiplayer world where everybody is connected, and if I meet somebody 2 years into playing this game, I can fly to their end of the world and they can fly to my end of the world, and they can come to my home and check out the base that I've built. I'm going to be very interested in this game because that is like a fantasy that has always existed for me, and it's something that Final Fantasy XIV does really well. World of Warcraft doesn't do, but it's something that's always been so appealing to me, and it goes back to like the root of like why you like Destiny. Like Destiny is cool because you get to go and do cool stuff and get cool weapons and make your guy look rad and then show him off to the world. There's something about multiplayer video games and ownership and like aesthetic that I think all work hand in hand to make something very appealing. And I've always loved the idea even in single player games, like as far back as like, I think Fable was a really good early example of this, of like playing Fable and then buying a house in Fable and furnishing that house and having like a little piece of a virtual world that feels like it's yours, especially if that world is like bespoke and, customizable, is just a really cool thing. And that on a grand scale is really rad, and that's why I like housing in Final Fantasy. It's an MMO. Anybody from anywhere can come and check my house out that I designed, and it is very like unapologetically my style that I have chosen. And I love that idea for Light No Fire. A game like Valheim where you and your buddies build a base, but anybody can come to that base and hang out there is something that's like really interesting to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just an itch that I definitely fucking have. Love it. Light No Fire is big on my radar, and I will say that even if it does come out to the same follies as No Man's Sky, I will say that I won't feel as burned as I felt when I got my No Man's Sky Collector's Edition shipped to me on day one, because I will have more faith in Hello Games for future support and making good on most of the promises that are made. So
it's true. Even if this game isn't a 10 on release, they're not going to abandon it. Right. So
yeah. So I think that goes a long way. Shadow Drop, maybe the biggest Shadow Drop of the night. No, that's still coming up. But Echoes of the Fallen, the first DLC pack for Final Fantasy 16, is out now, and the Rising Tide is coming soon, and you can buy them both on PlayStation 5 and play the first one now. Apparently, it's like 3 hours, and it takes place in the middle of Final Fantasy 16 story, so it's like an extra chapter that would take place in between, probably somewhere in the third act, but before the ending, which is kind of cool. Any interest in this going back?
Maybe. I don't know. I want to get the platinum on that game one day, but
I kind of landed in. Yeah.
Personally, I think the game's already a little bit too long. I don't know how I feel about extra chapters.
I need this one to be good. I need the second one to be great, and then I will go tackle them both at the same time, is where I'm at on that.
Yeah.
I am not going to go and be like, time to play Final Fantasy 16 again, because I feel like it's going to take a lot for me to go back in there and remember how that game functions and whatnot. That's why DLC is always kind of a hard sell for me. I'd like a nicer, longer standalone experience. I don't want to have that experience twice. So let's wait. We'll go make it happen when...
I still have not finished the Horizon DLC from this year. I got about an hour
last year, I think. Burning Shores?
Yeah, it came out in March or April or something like that. Yep. They
really oversaturated the Horizon thing with the Call of the Mountain and they all have the same fucking key art. Sometimes. Biggest Shadow Drop of the night is the finals is out. Full version is out now. Season 1 is taking place. I talked about this on not last episode, but the episode prior to that. I played the finals for about an hour, and I was pretty hot on it. This is the one from the Battlefield developers, new studio, fully destructible environments. Generally a pretty cool video game, and it's the right price, baby.
I downloaded it earlier today. I'm gonna play it probably later tonight. Try to get a crew together for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. I think it's a fun game, and I'm excited to see what it looks like in its full release. This is an odd one. This is arguably one of the bigger, trailers of the night, announcements of the night, kind of the industry's worst kept secret currently. Like, obviously there is a Monster Hunter World follow-up in production. Yeah, but when will we see it? What's it called? When is it going to release? And some people thought it was a little closer than it is. Monster Hunter Wilds is coming out in 2025, no specific release date, so it's still a ways off. But they showed off, I thought, a lot of stuff that's not in Monster Hunter tech, like currently, things like flying mounts and whatnot, like a much larger, looks to be like open zone to traverse through. I don't know if it's an open world or what the deal is, but looks cool. But I'm not a Monster Hunter guy. Maybe I'll become one for this. What about you?
Yeah, well, see, I gave Monster Hunter World probably 20, 30 hours, and I tried to get into it because one of my best friends adores Monster Hunter. So this one, I'll try it again. I really hope I can get into it, but currently I'm not.
That's what I've always felt. Like, I didn't get into Monster Hunter World on release, and because of that, I kind of felt like I was like, I'm behind the curve here, so I don't want to really like give this the time to get into it. And when I did actually give it the time, it was so far past its prime that I was like, everyone's so much further ahead of me. This also is tough to like, it's one of those games where you end up with a real gnarly looking fucking inventory, and I was like, I already have an inventory I'm trying to manage in Final Fantasy. It just didn't click for me, and I felt like I was behind. Then the same thing happened with Monster Hunter Rise, where it came out on the Switch, and I was like, I don't want to play it on the Switch, I'll play it on PC. It comes to PC, I was like, everyone's been playing this on Switch for a year. Like, I don't want to fucking mess around with this now.
My prediction is, if we look at Street Fighter 6, for example, they did a really good job of adjusting the game to be easier for newcomers. I would not be surprised if they did the exact same thing for Monster Hunter Wilds and tried to get even more new people in.
Kaulin, that's just good reporting and editorializing. Good shit. That's a great comparison, and it's from the same fucking company. And I think that is what Monster Hunter needs. Not something that I thought of, but it seems like they know it's an opportunity for them. That barrier of entry exists. Good shit.
Yeah, and I absolutely. And I think they'll have difficulty with it because Monster Hunter fans are very intense. But hey, I hope that's what they do because I want to try it. I want to get in.
For sure. Give me out of 10. You being at the show doesn't count. Game Awards. 10 being the best Game Awards you've ever seen. Rate it.
Okay, well that's going to be really hard to judge on.
Just based on announcements and awards and like how the show was for 3 hours.
Based on announcements, I'd give it like a 7.5. Personally.
Oh really? Yeah, I'm like an 8.5. I think it was a great show.
Yes,
it was above average show.
But I got to see Herald of Darkness performed by Poets of the Fall, aka Old Gods of Asgard, live. I got to see it live. I got to see Sam Lake, Ilka Vili, Matthew Peretta, and oh my god, I can't remember his name right now, but he plays Warland Door in Alan Wake 2. I got to see that live, and it was the most amazing thing ever, and I feel so like lucky to have seen it because this could be the last time all those people ever get together to perform. Exactly. Really this could be the only time ever for that. And it was amazing. And I'm so pissed at how boring and lame the audience was for it. Yeah. Because I'm sitting there, I want to dance to it, dude. It's so good. And the audience around me was so lame. Yeah. But no, it was great. I had a wonderful time. I being there, I'd give it a 10 just because I love it. It was so awesome being there. But yeah, it was a good one. I'm glad my view isn't falsely elevated just because I was there. I wasn't sure how you would feel about it. I know normally you're cooler on things than I am, just because you overhyped them. But I'm glad to see that you
no,
enjoyed
this one really delivered for me. There's a lot of stuff that was like, it was a nice balance of stuff that I felt was important to me, and then there was a lot of stuff that I felt was important to other people, and I think that it hit that balance perfectly, and I was very excited to have everything.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great. I'm happy.
Good show. We're gonna get into what we've been playing as we always do, but I feel like there's really only been, it hasn't been that long since we last recorded and talked news, but there's one other big elephant in the video game industry that we have to talk about before we move into what we've been playing.
Oh, yes,
and it's currently sitting at 134 million fucking views.
It is an elephant.
What's the word? What's your hype level? What's your history with Grand Theft Auto, Kaulin? We haven't, we've never lived through, we've known each other for more than 3 years now. I was doing the math the other day.
Wow.
But, you know, it's been 10 years since Grand Theft Auto came out. We've talked about it. We've memed about it. Did you play Grand Theft Auto 5 the day that it came out?
No, I was 13 when it came out. My mom,
that's crazy.
my mom would not buy me M-rated games. So
got it. I bought Grand Theft Auto 5 with my own money the day that it came out. Okay.
See, that'll be with
I lived alone.
So my history with Grand Theft Auto is, I remember being in 6th grade playing my PS2. Let's see, 6th grade was 2011 or 12. So not long before GTA 5 came out. I was playing on my PS2 at that point, and that's all I had at that point. My parents never got me the newest system. They always tried to they tried to like make sure I didn't get into games, and I got into games. But so I had a PS2 that I was playing in middle school, and I remember talking to one of my friends, and he's like, "Yeah, I got Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. You can borrow it." So I borrowed GTA San Andreas, and I'm playing GTA San Andreas on my PS2 in middle school. Absolutely killing it. Picking up strippers, doing cheat codes, getting a tank. Having a great time. And then that same
I'm glad you got to play one of the original like big trilogy games as a kid. You got to enjoy the sandbox glory that was going to the center of the city, entering in your cheat codes and making your own fun. Like that is something that's so lost upon a big generation of gamers.
I remember finding like a purple dildo in a bathroom somewhere, and I was like, "What is this?"
That might be Saints Row.
No, there was definitely a dildo
You're probably
in the bathroom somewhere, I think. But then that same friend, probably a year or two later, came over and was like, "Hey, I've got GTA 5 on my Xbox 360." So they came and stayed at my house, and no, not 4. He had GTA 5. I remember, but I've never played 4. Yeah, but I remember him bringing it over and us playing it, and him having like the colored smoke to your wheels whenever you burn out. It was colored.
Yeah, customized.
Yeah, and it was so cool. Yeah, I remember changing from like Franklin to Michael for the first time, and it was so cool, like zooming out over
across the map. It's good, dude. It holds up too. Like, and they're doing their own thing, like the persistent world of like you transfer over to Trevor, and Trevor is in like the fucking sticks, drunk as a skunk, driving a truck, and already like has a 2-star wanted level. Like,
it was
that game is really good. So, have you never played through GTA 5 story mode?
Well, that's actually where I was getting when I was in high school. I finally got a 360. And that same friend sold me his copy of GTA 5, and I played through all of GTA 5 story. Nice. And I got all of the little, I don't remember what I collected. I collected something, and it was like
briefcases, maybe. Is that
something? It gave me like a UFO car at the end.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, man, this reward was not worth the time. And then I kind of put it down and never went back. I played online for maybe like an hour and a half one time, but past that, that's my
like a 30-hour stint in GTA Online. But I'm old school. I played GTA 3 when I wasn't supposed to play GTA 3 when I was a kid. Me and my friends, countless hours. I don't even think I ever beat GTA 3 because we would just go into the city and see how long we could blow shit up for before we got killed or arrested, and just a ton of fun. GTA Vice City is arguably my favorite one. I was a little older when it came out. I played through the story. It had a better story, and it had more going on. It really just kind of felt like that upgraded version of GTA 3. That's the game. That's the GTA game that I lived in. You know, that was the one for me that was like the most important, where I was like super excited for for GTA Vice City. San Andreas came out, and I actually don't love a lot of like the RPG elements that they added in there, the lifestyle stuff. I think it was a little bit ahead of its time, and because of that, it was a little annoying that I had to go eat and CJ could get fat, or I had to like go work out and shit like that. So San Andreas, despite being like the theme that you'd think would resonate the most with me, because I love rap music and I love that 90s West Coast culture.
Yeah.
It's Vice City for me, and it's not fucking close. Played GTA 4, got hung up on a story mission where I always crashed into a wall and never beat it. GTA 5 day one, played through the story, really loved it. Started hitting that like stride of like, hey, I think I just play through every single Rockstar game single player that comes out. Like by then I played Red Dead Redemption. By then
I played,
excited for Red Dead Redemption 2.
I played RDR and RDR 2 all the way through.
Yep, GTA 5 all the way through. Like the protagonists in GTA games don't fucking miss, you know? And getting into GTA 6 in this trailer, I mean, obviously there was a huge leak last year, but it didn't have much that was like substantial. Just kind of an idea of like, we're probably going to Vice City, and
you gotta be hyped for Vice City then, right?
I'm ridiculously hyped. Like, it's tough because GTA is now so like, I guess like normal to be into, but also so saturated by like the GTA Online community that really dominates the thing. But it's easier for me, I guess, to separate like the single player GTA and how exciting it is to actually get a new Grand Theft Auto. And I am very hyped. Like, I don't think it's like it's not lost on me how important to the new Grand Theft Auto game is every time it comes out. But let's talk about the trailer itself. I think it is a masterclass in showing what video games can be, man.
Wow.
It's unreal.
It is truly unreal. I've seen people break it down, and just the tech and like the detail that Rockstar manages to present it. You know, somebody put a tweeted a picture of like Rockstar's release schedule over the years. And you get to GTA 5, and then there's a massive gap to RDR 2, and then there's a massive gap to GTA 6, and it's like, I understand why, because when you see this product, you're like, oh my gosh, how is this possible? But also it makes me like, man, I wish that they would just make smaller games and give me more. But I'm so hyped for this game. It's gonna be one for the ages, I think.
It looks unlike any game that we've ever played. It is the fucking future. It's not even cool to be into video game girls anymore. They're actually just hot now. Like, it's not even a cool niche thing to enjoy, you know? Yeah,
Lucia's her name, right? Lucia.
Certified baddie.
She's a bae. Yeah.
It's so sick. And I love the key art. There's something about this key art that is so cool to me. I love the dual protagonist. Like her arm draped on over him. I don't think we know his name. I think people think it's James for some reason.
I think it's Jason.
Oh, Jason, got it. But
I
don't know. There's something about it that's completely fucking badass to me, and I'm so in on this video game, man.
Honestly,
it's still a ways out. The 2025 date was tough to see. I think people thought like maybe it would be a little bit sooner.
Dude, I thought it would be like summer or fall for sure.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have that like gigantic, massive fucking thing for 2024, but
I think they announced it too early. It's 2 years out. There's going to be delays.
Yeah,
like they announced it too early.
I think they probably have it slated for March of 2025, and they gave themselves enough room to delay if they need to.
If need to,
I feel like they'll probably make it.
Well,
but
if we think about it, it could be exactly 2 years to the day before it comes out.
True, very true.
Yeah, but I mean, it could be
interesting the next time. I think we'll talk about this more at length the next time we see it, because it'll be crazy to see the gameplay, but I think it's going to be astonishing. There's truly the crowd density and the movements, even if those are just like pre-rendered cutscenes that are like in engine, is absolutely fucking insane behavior. Like that trailer is nuts. Kind of matches our aesthetic, huh? Purple and blue.
It kind of does.
Orange.
Maybe we should recolor. If we get a third person, it'll be orange.
So true. We're high.
I will say I think we should be worried in some. Yeah, I think we should be worried in some areas, because there are talks. There are like surveys, I guess. Some surveys are saying, how much would you be willing to pay for GTA 6?
Yeah.
And like
I've had this conversation on stream a lot.
the answers are like 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 plus, and like people are picking the 100 plus, and I'm like, don't pick that, because if they charge $100 for this game, you know exactly what's going to happen. Every other game is going to be $100. But also, I believe it was the CEO of Rockstar or someone high up in Rockstar that said that games are offering too much value and that they should start charging by the hour.
Sure.
And if that happens, you can kiss the industry goodbye, I think.
I think there's no way that this game launches in some form for more than $80. So I'll give them another $10 to work with there. But here's my theory on that, is that if they are really hard set on getting the most bang out of their buck, here's the thing, is GTA 5 prints fucking money. GTA 6 will be no different. But if they want the price of admission to be higher, my thought is, like, let's call it $70. The game launches for $70. I could see them doing something along the lines of like GTA Vice City part of Grand Theft Auto 6 is $70. It's another $70 for Grand Theft Auto 6 Online if you want that, or you can buy the Grand Theft Auto 6 Complete Edition, which is $140 value for $120, and that gets you access to the Grand Theft Auto 6 story missions, game play, whole 9 yards, and the online stuff with this much in-game currency. It sucks.
You know, I would buy it. I would buy it.
Me too. It sucks. We're part of the problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there will definitely be $100 versions of this game that include different things. I mean, I remember when GTA 5, I was working at GameStop when GTA 5 came out, and it was like this new thing, kind of these like microtransactions at the register of like, yeah, go home, GTA 5. There's also GTA Online. Do you want to buy a shark card? And at working at GameStop, the whole thing was like, how do we get our UPTs up, our units per transaction? And it was like, dude, nickel and diming everybody that came to that register. Oh, you're getting GTA? Nice. Do you want the strategy guide? No. How about a $5 currency card so you can buy new weapons and guns and stuff for GTA Online? And just like scanning that little barcode at the register, $5 here, $10 there, $20, $100 version. Like, people were going bonkers for it. It was the early days of like perpetuating microtransactions, and scary times, man.
I think it's interesting because Red Dead Online 2, or whatever you want to call it, Red Dead Redemption 2 Online, it failed, which is kind of crazy. But I think it's I don't think it I don't think it failed because of the player base. I think the player base was there. It's always there. I think it just failed because they couldn't find a good way to monetize it. You know, in GTA they make the flying cars. You can always make a new model of car. How do you make a new horse? You know?
Yeah, I don't think we ever get a GTA game that, or another big push from like even like a Red Dead Online that is not modern, if that makes sense. There's something that goes hand in hand with like creating this like persistent online world if you're going to go for ultra realism. Like Grand Theft Auto 6, if it took place in the 70s or the 80s or even the 90s this time, or even like the early 2000s, wouldn't make as much sense for like the microtransactions, because you can't go out and buy the likeness of like the Lamborghini that you really want to get, or that futuristic sports car. Like, things just all of a sudden don't fit the aesthetic, and it becomes like a weird little like time traveling thing. Like, you can't, like, unfortunately you can't sell a flying car in Red Dead Redemption, but you can sell a flying car in Grand Theft Auto 5, and because of that, people like flying cars. You know what I mean? Like, that wouldn't fit in Grand Theft Auto Vice City the way that we know it today, but it fits into Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto 5, and it would fit into this. So I think that has something to do with it as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna put out online at the same time as they launch the base game, because online comes late most of the time with their games. I know it came later with Red Dead. It came later with GTA 5. I don't know when it will come out with this.
I think it launches with it, just because they know now from the get-go that is their long game. Like, I don't think they knew how successful GTA 5 was going to be, GTA Online was going to be, and it blew up, and it still continues to be very impressive how popular it is. And I think knowing that off the jump, I think that's a big thing that figures into their launch plans, is like, let's grab everybody by the fucking neck immediately. Not only are we going to give you a great single-player experience, but we're going to give you an online experience that's worth additional cost.
I think they're also going to have difficulty coming from, if we look at Mortal Kombat 11 to Mortal Kombat 1, at its current state, you know, Mortal Kombat 11 is a full game that's had multiple add-on pushes and things like that, and it feels complete. And then if you go to play Mortal Kombat 1, it feels like you're being shorted because it doesn't have all that extra stuff. I wonder if they're going to struggle from just the fact that the online is launching at a base state and they're having to kind of start to take those steps back to the fully completed GTA 5 online area.
Yeah, that is a tough one. Just to look at it doesn't feel feature complete because of its predecessor and everything it has.
And I think it will get a little I think it will get more of a pass than Mortal Kombat because it's in a new city with a new story and everything. But I don't know. I'm curious how the reception will be for that.
I think the big difference there, I think it's a good comparison to make, and I think there will be an element of that. But I think because of the amount of time between them and how drastically different things will look and feel gameplay-wise, the concessions will be made to have less features, have less functionality. But because the bones are so good and knowing what it's going to grow into eventually, it'll be easier to overlook. It's kind of where I stand on that.
Yeah.
And that's just because I think this game is going to be a technical fucking marvel.
Absolutely. I mean, if we look at Red Dead Redemption 2, it's still one of the best looking games ever made, and that came out on PS4.
Up today.
On PS4, it came out. Like they need to. If they put out a PS5 version of that, I'd replay it. I think I would.
Yeah. 60 frames. Maybe.
Yeah.
It already is 60 frames. No.
No. It was at 30. But I don't know. I'm very excited for this game. Lucia looks awesome. Honestly, get rid of Jason. I don't care. I want to play as Lucia. I'm only going to be playing as Jason when I'm forced to be.
Yeah, I think the end of this game with a I think they do spoilers for Red Dead Redemption.
And you have the dual
Red Dead Redemption 2, I guess. Like you have the dual protagonist thing for this one where you're playing similar to hopping between Michael Franklin and Trevor. But in this game, probably one of them dies, and you play the post game as only one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hope I get to go build a building afterwards.
We'll see. I never played the end game. I finished the end of Red Dead Redemption, and then I got to like playing as John, and then I like rode a carriage with like John and the girl.
Yeah,
and the kid.
yeah. You drive it down. And you go to the movies with her.
I never even went to the movies. I put it down after that. And I was like,
oh my gosh, no! You gotta finish it, dog. It's worth finishing.
I'm building the fucking house.
All
right, enough. I don't want to hear that song anymore. You want to talk about what we've been playing?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's start with.
Hold on. Sorry, back to GTA. I just had a thought. Mm-hmm. Don't you love how they took like all the Florida Man memes and like all the videos and stuff that we've seen on Twitter and just turned them into cutscenes? So I love that.
Alligator walking into the fucking
the supermarket or whatever
store, getting pulled out of the thing. Like it's gonna be absolutely unhinged. GTA is so good at like. I think the coolest thing is like there's such an emphasis on like people recording things like TikTok and stuff, and they've always done such a good job with like the satire for the type of like current events and what society is like these days, and society is at its lowest fucking point ever as a running gag that we're all playing on each other. And I think it's gonna be really funny to see how they lay into that. But yeah, they nailed the tone in that 90-second trailer. It's a dense trailer. It's an impressive trailer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, I've been playing Fortnite, right?
Oh, dude,
I've been playing so much Fortnite, bro.
I really can't wait to hop in and try out the Lego and the Rocket League versions.
It's so good. After we record this, I'm playing the last pillar of Fortnite, but Fortnite this season is wild. So let's start from the get-go. Last month was Fortnite OG. I played a little bit of it. It didn't scratch an itch because I don't have much nostalgia for the original Fortnite Battle Royale stuff, but they announced the new Fortnite season is starting, and they're going to have an event called the Big Bang. All right. The Big Bang ends up being a pretty impressive event. It's one of those live events. Everyone loads into it together. It's kind of wrapped around an Eminem concert, but there's also a playable teaser for what ends up being new Fortnite modes. And when I say new Fortnite modes, I know what you're thinking. Are these like creative islands that somebody made like a Fortnite experience in? No. These are actual video games developed within the Fortnite engine. So Fortnite initially was Fortnite Save the World, and then they added to Fortnite Save the World Fortnite Battle Royale. And to date, that was the biggest change to the Fortnite landscape that existed, and it has been for some years now, 4 or 5 years. this past week has been the biggest change since the introduction of Fortnite Battle Royale. Because not only did the new season start, we have Peter fucking Griffin and Solid Snake being added to the game in the Battle Pass. We had our Eminem concert. It teased 3 new game modes, 2 of which I've played, 1 of which I'm about to play. The first one is Lego Fortnite. It is a Lego game that plays the most similar to a game that we've already talked about today. You want to guess?
Light No Fires.
Valheim. Valheim is the closest.
I was close.
You were so close. I think that Valheim is like the best example of what to expect from like the gameplay loop of Fortnite. You're building crafting benches, you are upgrading tools so that you can go and get better resources or bring those resources back, using them to create better things back at your base so that you can create nicer things. It's a full-fledged resource management. Go ahead.
Oh. Well, I was going to say the only thing I can think about when looking at this is I know TT Games is pissed off. They are livid.
I don't think so. It's got the IP, but it doesn't have that same charm. It's a very different video game. If you play it, you'll understand. And I can't recommend playing it enough because it's very fucking cool. The next time I play with my actual like homies, like my off-stream gaming group, I'm really excited to jump into Lego Fortnite with them because it's one of those cool like just get in there and fuck around together and have some weird adventure that's only possible in one of those survival games.
I mean, it's literally just like Minecraft, right?
Again, more like Valheim than Minecraft. You know, it doesn't have the same like exact freeform building. You know, you're kind of like clicking things into place and using like existing blocks to create things, but not
I
the
guess
exact same level of customizability.
My question is, what is the end game? Like, what is your objective here?
I haven't played enough to tell you that, but
okay.
Very similar to Valheim, it seems to be the further away from where you spawn, the more difficult the enemies are and the more rare the resources are. So it's some sort of like race against like, well, it would be cool to have like, you know, this cool armor, but to get that I need to kill the fucking dragon that lives in the swamplands or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. It's a gameplay loop that's not brand new, but it's done with a beautiful aesthetic. Obviously the Lego influence here is good, and it does have a little bit of Fortnite DNA, but for the most part completely fucking unrecognizable from Fortnite. Very impressive. But you want to talk about unrecognizable from Fortnite? Now this is some cool shit. I am over the moon about rocket racing. So this is the first thing from Fortnite. It is still developed by Epic Games, but this is developed by an existing team that we know. Do you know the team?
Psyonix.
The developers of Rocket League, have made rocket racing inside Fortnite. And it's nuts. It's so good. It actually gives a very bad first impression. If you go into rocket racing, you're going to do the tutorial and you're going to be like, I don't know. And you're going to do the first couple of races and you're still going to be like, well, I don't know. It's very boost pilled. You know what I mean? You're going around, you're drifting around corners to gain boost. You hit the boost button and then you go, you know, faster. And you continue that loop all the way through. The hook that rocket racing has is similar to the Rocket League one in that your car has thrusters so that you can jump and maneuver obstacles in the air, but it also has these 4 planes that you can drive on too. So when you're driving, you might see a wall on your right with a boost pad on it. You can boost into the air and then hold the X button and tilt to the right, and your car will smack down onto that part of the map, and you're now driving on the right wall. And there's like multiple angles that you can approach obstacles from. And when you get into these more intermediate races, it is a very, very impressive arcade racing game. I'm having a fucking blast with rocket racing. And just, if you loaded up rocket racing and you handed the controller to somebody and let them play it and then said that was in Fortnite, I think it would blow fucking minds. It does not feel like Fortnite at all. It's really cool to have there, and it's really cool for free. The last pillar isn't out yet. I'll talk more about it because I'm very excited for it, but it was announced, so it's kind of half news. Let's talk about it briefly. Is Fortnite Festival, which is a game mode that launches today, and it's developed by Harmonix. Harmonix are the creators of Fuser, Drop Mix, the board game, and most importantly, Rock Band and the early team from Guitar Hero. And it plays exactly the way that you'd hope. It is basically Rock Band, but with a controller, and they announced today that they are working on controller compatibility for existing instruments, including drums, microphone, guitar, bass, all of your plastic stuff that you have laying around. And I know the problem. Some people don't have that. They are alluding to shipping
Making new
plastic
ones?
instruments in fucking
Okay,
2024.
well that's what I was about to say. I was about to say, why are they working on backwards compatibility when they could just sell them and make a ton of money?
Imagine marketing Fortnite festival guitars, dude. $70 guitar when you walk into fucking Walmart to go play
I
Fortnite
don't know.
festival
They
with all
figure
your
it out
skins.
somehow.
I'm saying it's a fucking it prints money. It's the best idea in the world. Can you imagine you walk in there and you can buy the Weeknd's fucking guitar at Walmart while your mom buys groceries?
And there's gonna be exclusive skins whenever you buy those things that you can only unlock from a code through that thing as well.
Oh, it's a no-brainer, dude. It's gonna be so cool. I think this is gonna be a big deal. I think it was tough to see Harmonix go down the way that they did, man. Fuser was like such a great game that was underappreciated, and they were required to make these like Fortnite musical experiences, and they were silent for so long, and it's been a tough couple of years as a big fan of these music rhythm games. And to see them come back this way and make something with mass appeal and see the bones and understand of what it could be and know now that they have the funding behind them and the belief that maybe it's time to go down this road again, I am over the fucking moon. I am so excited to play this tonight. Like, I can't believe it. And it is confirmed to like be straight up Rock Band. It's the emphasis on season 1 is the Weeknd. There's multiple Weeknd songs, but they've got a whole list of other artists that are also contributing. There's Kendrick Lamar and fucking other bands that exist. Name some bands.
Radiohead.
I can't think of any either. I don't think Radiohead's in there.
Oh, I don't know. I got nothing then.
There's a bunch.
Do you like how I'm holding a light bulb? If you're,
I do. Did you have an idea?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
No, actually, one of my light bulbs went out, so I took it out and it's sitting here. But I've just been fiddling with it. If one of these three were nominated for something at the Game Awards, would they nominate Rocket Racing or would they just nominate Fortnite?
Ooh, I don't know. Probably Rocket Racing in the same way.
This is like a whole new thing that
I would almost call it more like a DLC pack. Like if you would, whatever nominations for like CD Projekt Red got for Cyberpunk 2077 Altered Carbon, or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah, something like that. You know what I mean?
This is like a whole new thing that we've never experienced before.
Yeah. It's
games
cool, man.
Within games.
I'm fucking blown away. And also the new season is fun, dude. Like, it's good modern Fortnite. I've been shooting people. I've been playing all these different modes. I've been tricked into streaming Fortnite once for Fortnite OG, once for the actual event, once to check out the new season, once for Lego Fortnite, once for Rocket Racing, and then the 6th time for fucking Fortnite Festival tonight. That's 6 streams of Fortnite that I've done just as a variety content creator to check out all the new things that Fortnite has to offer in a 30-day span. That's fucking insane, Paul.
Would Allie like Lego Fortnite?
Oh, but she might like Festival or Racing.
You don't think she'd like Lego Fortnite? She likes Minecraft.
If she likes Minecraft, then maybe. It's definitely like the gameplay loop being compared to Valheim is, I think you'll be surprised at how accurate I am. Like,
how difficult aesthetic. Are the controls?
They're annoying.
Okay,
well, I'm playing on keyboard and mouse, so I can't really speak to like controller player.
What is wrong with what has gotten into you? Why have you gotten into keyboard and mouse? I hate that.
Keyboard and mouse is the superior thing, especially as a fucking old man. Like, I'm telling you, bro, I have control. The control of a fucking mouse in my right hand is absolutely insane.
You're gonna get carpal tunnel, dude. Like,
just point at the heads and click on them, and I win the games.
Well, okay, whatever.
Wait till we drop in fucking Warzone together, and I'm over here ripping them to shreds, bro.
Oh, just you wait, brother. Just you wait.
We'll see. We'll see how it all pans out. More of that on the next episode, maybe. Probably about Chants of Sennaar, because this is maybe the game that you have the best shot of convincing me right this moment to play in between now and Game of the Year list.
Have you ever tried to learn a language other than English?
3 times. So I took like a year and a half of French. I dropped out on year 2 when I was in middle school. It was a joke. Because at the same time, I was also learning Hebrew to get bar mitzvahed. And at the end of getting bar mitzvahed, which I did get bar mitzvahed, I learned my portion. I learned a lot of Hebrew. They said, "Do you want to be a part of the Jewish community?" And I said, No, I'm good.
No, I'm good.
And it's not you. I don't want to be a part of like any community, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then I took 3 years of Spanish in high school.
Did you enjoy
mi
learning
pantalones.
languages? Like,
kind of, not really, nothing really stuck.
Kind of.
But I was just a fucking degenerate kid, you know. I was up to no good. I wanted to underage drink.
that's fair. What if learning a language could be fun and could be a game? That's
know
what
about
Chants
that.
of Sennaar is you're learning languages by text. It's not by voice. So it's a little different than what you would learn in a class, because normally I feel like in class you learn speaking language versus writing language first.
Yeah.
And so Chants of Sennaar, it's a fun puzzle game where you get to learn languages, and you learn by context clues. So you load into I'll walk you through the very first puzzle. The very first, right at the start, is you wake up and you encounter a little river, and you have a lever beside you, and the guy on the other side says whatever, and he has this little symbol above his head.
Mm-hmm.
So from that you can infer, he's like pointing at the lever. You can infer that he means like pull the lever,
sure.
or turn on, or
Use.
flip or something. Yeah. So what you can do is you can go into your notebook. You can go into your notebook and you can type in what you think the word means, and then you can go and do the action, and it just takes steps from there, and it keeps building your language. And by the end of it, your language has 50 different characters, and you can build these full coherent sentences. And as you go through the world, you get these notebook pages that have either pictures or they have sentences, and then you can slot in individual symbols into your notebook page, and it will like confirm, like, yes, this is what that word is. So then there's no question of what it is anymore. So you get to the point where you're talking to these people and you know half of what they're saying, and like you know half of what they're saying for sure, and you think you know what this like word is, and then there's one that you just don't know what it is. So it's like you're at a shop and the guy says, I sell, and then you know the word I, you know the word sell, and then you're like, well, it looks like his shop sells vases. So I sell vase ? And you can kind of type that in. So you're like, okay, that person sells a vase. And then there's that last symbol. Lots of times the symbols are possessive or they're plural. So that last symbol could be something that makes the vase plural. So it'd be vases. So then you can go around the world and start to figure out these languages saying, oh, this person is saying something plural. And then you can piece together their language, solve the puzzles to move on to the next layer. So it's kind of built like a Tower of Babel. Are you familiar with the Tower of Babel? It's a Bible story pretty much where there's a giant tower. They're trying Old Testament. They're building a tower to the heavens. Yeah, where they're building a tower to the heavens, and for some reason God's like, yeah, I don't like that. Bang, and then now they all speak different languages. So each level in this tower that you're ascending speaks a different language. So every time you get to a new level, you learn a new language, and it's your job to try and reconnect all these levels. And each level looks up at the next level and like worships them because they're disconnected. There's a sort of mysticism to the level above them, and it's trying to understand why and help connect people through language. And it's honestly one of my favorite games of the year. I had a wonderful, wonderful time playing this game, and I hate puzzle games. But
let me ask you.
Go
this
ahead.
Sounds it might scratch my outer wilds itch.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I agree.
And then let me ask you this: would this be fun to do with my Twitch chat?
I think so. I think it would be fun because
I think can it be shared experience? Like, can they help?
I think it could be fun because it's a problem solving experience. So they might remember a symbol that somebody used 2 rooms back and be like, oh, well, I think based on context clues that it means this. And the cool part of it is each language has its own rules. You know, like some languages, they speak like Yoda. It's like hungry I am, you know. So they have their item first, and then it's followed by whatnot. So I think it could be a fun experience with multiple people. It might be a little nerve wracking depending on how many people are yelling at you.
Is it the game that you would recommend I check out?
I think so, but you've got to go into it knowing you'll be wrong. Chia? You want me to play Chia?
I want you to play Chia really bad. It's my second favorite game of the year, and it's free to you.
That's fair. I can download and play some Chia. I can't promise I'll finish it, but
yeah.
Let's see how long to beat.
Here's my ask. Wait, how much time are you going to spend with Allie over the next couple of weeks?
Not much, because I'm going to be traveling home.
Got it. Because I think she might appreciate that game, like watching you play that game or like playing it like together-ish. There's some puzzle stuff for sure, but mostly it's just like a very like, the game's like a fucking Disney movie kind of. You know what I mean? Like it's like a family. Yeah. I don't know. It's so fucking good.
Maybe
man.
I would
love to talk to you about it for Game of the Year. You know?
Yeah. I'm spending time with her tonight. I'll ask if she wants to play some Chia or something.
Yeah. I'll obligate to Chants of Sennaar. I'll do it.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Chants of Sennaar, the main story is like 9 hours.
I might not finish it.
That's fine.
Same deal.
Completionist, if you do finish it, I need you to do a completionist run of it. Because there's a good ending.
Audio viewers could see my face.
Yeah, well, here's the problem. The completionist is only 9.5 hours. It's a half hour longer, maybe a little more. Because there's the ending that you get if you don't do everything, which is just a bad ending. And then there's an ending that you get.
Should I finish it without doing everything and see that ending and then complete it and then see that ending?
Yeah.
Or should I just do everything?
That's fine. No, that's fine. You can see the bad ending. It does a save before the very end, so you can just load right back in. But the good ending is worth your time. And what the good ending does is what I think all good puzzle games do, is it takes everything that you've learned throughout the game and it makes you apply all of it. So you're really, by the end of it, you're really using these languages to their full potential. And it's just really, really impressive. So Chants of Sennaar has... Sure.
You have to build the Tower of Babel with the different communities that you've learned the languages of.
No.
It was worth a shot.
It was worth a shot. But yeah, so Chants of Sennaar...
And also, Kaulin, I'm going to compliment you for the second time tonight. Excellent fucking rundown of this video game. Firm understanding of what it is. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Sure. You're killing it.
Wow,
you're casting, bro.
I'm doing my best. I desperately need Greg Miller to hear this and be like, wow, this guy's actually...
Yeah, right. You missed your pitch. Next year. Go back and listen to the one before.
Yeah, the Chants of Sennaar was 9 hours for main story, 9.5 for completionist. And then Chia is...
I think I finished Chia
7 hours for main story. Yeah, 7 hours main story, 23 hours completionist. So who knows? Maybe I'll really love it and go completionist, but I'll do my best to get through the main story of Chia.
Main story, yeah, it's a breeze, man. Especially if you're like just chilling at home. Like you could actually do Chia in one day if you're just like chilling in like your childhood room, just like trying to fucking kill time before Christmas type beat. And even if not, like a couple nice play sessions of Chia, it is like it's a Breath of the Wild like, but it is oozing in heart and charm. I really like it, so I'm down to make that trade. I will buy Chants of Sennaar tonight to do my part, and as long as you put it in, I hope it's still on
sale. I did let you know when it was on sale, but
it was on sale. I don't think it's on sale right now. Maybe I'll wait a couple days for like the big Christmas sale, and then I'll do it with like chat. In those I'll do it like on the 27th through the 30th, in between Christmas and New Year's
there is technically a free demo for it, so on Steam. So
I feel like I can dive in for longer than that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's talk about hey, where's that place on your Game of the Year list?
It's
on there, right?
It's on there. It is number 12.
Hell yeah.
I think
I've
I
got a
honestly
game.
might move it higher. After talking about it, I just love it so much.
I have a wild addition to my game of the year list. That came out of fucking nowhere. I think that this game was announced and released in between the last episode of GameList and now. And that game is Sonic fucking Dream Team. Do you know anything about this?
That's the mobile one, right?
It is, yeah. So this is a game that was created by Sega, but with the funding from Apple to make an exclusive, or at least timed exclusive, Apple Arcade game. You familiar with Apple Arcade?
Yeah. I used to have a membership.
Let's assume that our listeners are not familiar with Apple Arcade. What Apple Arcade is it is a subscription service most similar to Game Pass, but the games that come to Apple Arcade have made a handshake deal with Apple about what their game will be for Apple Arcade. So most of them are either existing games that have been adapted to Apple Arcade or made specifically for Apple Arcade. And what they are they are a subversion of the expectation that you have from a mobile game. In the Apple Arcade games that you get via your monthly subscription to Apple Arcade is no microtransactions and full video games. So games that you can enjoy without the risk of having to feel like you need to reinvest money into them.
And no ads. They're not
ad
filled
support.
with ads.
Just super like console experience type video games typically. Or mobile, which is really nice. Things like Stardew Valley are on there, that Hello Kitty game that I was kind of raving about. Things that feel like they could be riddled with microtransactions, but instead are just full gaming experiences. And Sonic Dream Team, I'm so proud to say, is a fucking delight. I am over the moon about this game. In some ways, I think I like it more than I like Sonic Superstars. It's lower on my game of the year list just because it is still a touch mobile in its graphics and its bite size levels and progression, I guess. But Sonic Dream Team is a very, very special fucking video game. The way that I'm playing it too is such a pleasure as well. I have an Xbox 360 controller, Xbox Series X controller, whatever the fuck it is, hooked up to my iPad hooked up via HDMI into my capture card, and I'm streaming Sonic Dream Team full playthrough. And it is a 3D Sonic experience with 6 playable characters and really cool 3D environments. I have it slotted. I haven't finished the game yet. I put it at, I think, 12 or 13. We'll get to our list in a little while. But I honestly think Sonic Dream Team might break into my top 10. I might just replace it with Sonic Superstars. Like, I love this game. I love 3D Sonic games, and it just does everything right, and it shouldn't. It has all the makings of being bad, but it's good, and it is awesome.
I feel like you say that about every Sonic game. It's like, it should be bad, but it's good.
Yeah, well, it's mostly because Sonic games usually were bad. We just got out of a pretty bad phase of Sonic games. Like, there's a good decade of nothing but bad, if I'm gonna be honest here, and
that's fair.
I stuck through them through thick and thin. But Sonic Dream Team is crazy, and I have Apple Arcade not because I really play much Apple Arcade stuff, but it's bundled together with my shit. Like, I have extra
Apple TV,
iCloud storage, Apple TV, and Apple Music. And instead of paying for those separately, I just get them all bundled together for $17 a month or some bullshit. Like Apple One subscription or something like that. But I can't recommend this game enough. It's a fun 3D platformer. Can't speak to the touch controls, but if you are a Sonic fan in particular, check out Sonic Dream Team. It is not a game to be skipped at all. Really, really cool. You want to talk about Lethal Company, bro?
Yeah. So do you know what Lethal Company is?
Yeah, I know tangentially that a lot of the people that like Among Us are now playing Lethal Company.
Yeah, so I would actually compare Lethal Company more with Phasmophobia than Among Us.
Yeah, I see that.
So Lethal Company is a 4-player co-op scavenging game. And it's inspired by SCP stuff, which is like it's kind of like creepypasta type stuff.
Yeah,
so
I was worried about it being scary to me.
Yeah, it probably would be, but that's the joy of it. Is it was originally a Roblox game, and then this dude went and made an actual game of it. And
it's like what's that mystery game from Elder Scrolls mod?
Oh, the Forgotten City.
Forgotten City, yeah, similar story.
Yeah. Very similar, yeah. So it was pretty much you fly. It's a very corporate, funny corporate game, I guess, where
Yeah, I know you're
corporate makes
making
jokes
money.
about they make jokes about you being disposable and whatnot. So you go into these little hallways that are procedurally generated, and there's loot in there that you just have to find, take to your ship, and go and sell. The fun of it is the proximity chat and the fact that these horrifying little monsters spawn. Each of the monsters behaves differently, and it's like some of them will hide on the ceiling, so when you walk under it, it'll jump on your face, and it's like a face hugger. There's ones that will only move. There's like the weeping angel that will only move when you look away from it. There are ones that, if you look at them, they won't attack you, which sounds like the weeping angel, but it's a little different. But you can like scare them by looking at them, and it'll scare them away. There's giant spiders. There's little girls that run after you. But it's just little like horror things that you run through these very dark hallways and try to get the loot. So similar to Phasmophobia is after you complete something, you sell your stuff and you can buy upgrades. And then those upgrades can help you go to more difficult areas and more difficult planets. And there are enemies that if you make sounds, they'll find you. So you have to talk to your teammates quietly so they don't hear you. It is a game that is made to get hilarious clips of you and your friends screaming at the craziest thing. I can't recommend it enough. I think it was like $10. I think it was like $10 on Steam. Very cheap.
Seems like a dumb fun game.
It is, and it can run on just about anything. It's not going to be something that you have trouble running on your computer.
It has the why does Valheim keep coming up today? But the Valheim style graphics, where it's like it looks fine and looks kind of modern, but it's like using very little to make that happen.
Yeah, it's very like pixelated. It almost has, so it's got like its textures and stuff, and then it looks like they put like a pixelated filter over it, so everything looks pixely. So yeah. Valheim does keep popping up today. That's odd.
Yeah. Good game.
Yeah.
You ready for a weird one, bro?
Yeah.
And oddly, a big recommendation for you.
Oh no.
I was sponsored actually, so hashtag Ubisoft partner. But
yeah, I see the MetaQuest sitting behind you in the stream right now.
Yeah, my buddy let me borrow his MetaQuest so that I could actually play this game. So it's the first game that I ever got for like a embargo. Like I got the game early and I was able to play Assassin's Creed Nexus as much as I could for the couple hours before the embargo was up. It wasn't very far ahead of time, but cool that I got to experience it. But just, full disclosure that I was supplied a code for it. I didn't pay for it. It's pretty good, man. Here's the thing is I only played about an hour of it because I am not one for VR games and it made me very sickly. And I know that it does have the opportunity to, like, accessibility options for VR are pretty good. Like you can choose different movement and stuff like that. But I do feel like it takes away from the immersion, especially where I was trying to like showcase it. I wanted to make sure that I was showing it in like the most realistic form possible. I was pretty impressed with this game, dude. Like it's kind of janky. It's kind of VR. You got your floating hands and you've got that weird kind of VR jank playing it on MetaQuest 2. But there's something about walking around the Assassin's Creed world and being immersed in it and playing as fucking Ezio for the first time in such a long time that really scratched an itch for me. And I was impressed how many times I was looking around and actually blown away by the visuals that I was checking out. And it's such a fan servicey Assassin's Creed experience that I almost wish that there was like a non-VR version of it, because there's actually some really cool stuff happening in this game. I'm not going to dwell on it for too long. If you're in or if you're out. If you're a VR gamer, go for it. If you're big into Assassin's Creed, go for it. I don't think it's selling headsets or anything like that, but I would give it like you're a huge Assassin's Creed fan, you have the ability to play this on MetaQuest 2. It's cheap. I think it's only $40 and it will probably go on sale for the holidays and forevermore. I feel like if you're ever getting the itch to play some VR stuff, I think you'd have a really good time, bro. Like you're the perfect Venn diagram of like you're right in the middle of people that should be playing this.
Does Ezio's voice actor return?
I think so. I don't know. I don't know his voice well enough to it sounded like Ezio to me. But
That's fair.
You would have known. You would know better than me. I put a video up of like the first half hour of gameplay, mostly unedited, and just a really fun time. A cool little game. I was impressed with how much I enjoyed Assassin's Creed VR. Where did you fall on Jusant? You see what I did there?
You should have said, did it climb up your game of the year list?
Oh, pretty good. You know, when I was studying for my bar mitzvah, I was being a pretty good Jew sant.
Can't make that joke, so I don't.
All right.
Did your hair encounter a Jusant? That's a good one.
What does the word Jusant mean? I don't get that.
Jusant is the French word for a receding tide. So,
fuck you. The answer is yes, but I accepted it, and I've got a great head shape, so I'm living the life over here.
Yeah,
that's funny. Good, well played, buddy.
Yeah, I liked Jusant, but I think people are too hot on it. If that makes sense.
Sure, yeah, I have heard a lot of good things about it.
It is a perfectly fine climbing game that is too short, I think.
Too short? I think people like that it was short.
See, I think it was fine, but I think when it finally got going, it ended. But also, to that regard, I think the levels got worse the further you went on. I don't know. It's just, it was good, but something about it didn't click with me. Also,
you remember talking about this game with me when I played it?
Did you play it?
So I played it like 6 months ago. It was announced at one of the Keighley events, I think, or maybe like the Xbox event in the summer. And there was a demo for it right after. And I played that early demo that I think was just like the opening 40 minutes of the game. And I kind of liked it. It didn't hook me. And I remember thinking, I don't know about this as a whole game. And then hearing that it was short, I was like, oh, maybe if I actually already played a quarter of this game, maybe it's actually pretty dope. But I think I played more like an eighth of this game, and I think I'm good. It's that you want more.
Well, I don't even know if I want more. I just know it didn't satiate me the way that I had hoped.
Sure.
And I think that's one of the shortcomings of it is the story was kind of boring.
Yeah.
Sure, it was about a receding tide, so that's why there's that giant tower there, and you're climbing the tower to try to figure out why, I guess. You don't know anything about your character. You don't know anything about what happened to any other people.
Yeah,
as you're climbing,
like Shadow of the Colossus comparisons in that way.
I guess.
Is that crazy?
I don't. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Your
reaction is enough to me, I think.
Yeah, I think people should not compare this to Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus is so much better. But it's just like you're climbing this tower and you're finding these letters about, oh, the water is receding, so we got to go follow the water and look through the desert to try to find the water. This is actually one that I can't wait to spoil during our Game of the Year chat because I do have some issues with it. But anyways, you're trying to get the water back, I think, that's what your goal is, and you're just climbing. Your character never says anything. You don't know what their motives are. You don't know what they're doing, I guess. I don't know what his or her name is. I don't know. And the letters that you find, way too long. They're just far too long and they get boring. Yeah. But it's fine. Did you ever play Grow Home? It was an old Ubisoft game.
I know that game though. Yeah.
So it was a game where
a little yellow and red guy on the cover.
Green, I think, but
sure.
Maybe it is red. I think he's red. But you're like growing these plants up into the heavens, and you just climb them with your triggers. And I think you have like a stamina bar or something. This is just Grow Home, but if it was like hippie version, I feel like, if that makes sense.
You ever play DK Jungle Climber, bro?
No.
Donkey Kong King of Swing?
No.
The best trigger jumping game that you ever heard of, I promise.
I think this game has a great art direction. I think it has good music.
Climbing better than the Astrobot sections when you're fucking grabbing the monkey?
No, it's not better because Yeah, it is. It is good in Astrobot. This is very similar, where you use the triggers to climb. Each hand is, but something about the Astrobot was more. It's like scratched my brain in a certain way that this game doesn't.
Get it?
Yeah, it's good. It's a good game, but I think people are kind of blowing it up too much. If that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Game of the year list.
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Fair.
Yeah.
Speaking of honorable mentions, I wanted to like this more than I liked it. That's not true. That's not true. I like it. Here's the thing. You ever play a game? We're talking about Super Mario RPG, audio listeners. I apologize. That's the worst thing that I could do as a podcast host. Is just start going into let you guys fucking play the mystery game of what the fuck is Jake talking about right now, which I'm sure I do more often than I should. You ever play a game and it comes out and you're excited for it on release and you get like 6 hours into it and you're just like, God, I like this, but I don't feel like playing this right now?
Absolutely. All the time.
That's Mario RPG for me. Like, I just don't need in the middle of November during fucking busy ass holiday season to have a turn-based RPG with like fetch quests and shit like that. Like, I'm hot on it. I know I'm gonna beat this game at some point, but I don't even want to play. I don't even want to be playing Final Fantasy right now.
Honestly, that's exactly how I felt about Octopath Traveler 2.
Sure. Yeah. You got to be in the right mode, man. You got to have to be, you got to do the maximum chillin' the most type vibes. That's a Kid Rock reference, and I'm so sorry for that. But I don't know. Mario RPG checks all the boxes. It looks beautiful. It's a faithful remake. The game itself is good. It's charming. I've loved my time with it. Just not right now. And because of that, it's not going to make my game of the year list, mostly because A, it's so faithful of a remake that it's really not reinventing the wheel. But also in that I just haven't really given it the time that it deserves. It's not that it doesn't resonate with me, because it does. It's just not right now. I'm sure a lot of other podcasts are going to spend a lot more time talking about Mario RPG, but truly you already know everything you need to know about it if you know about the original game and you've seen a single 30-second snippet of gameplay from any of the 35 trailers that Nintendo put out for it. Happy with my purchase, glad to own it, will certainly beat it one day. Great getting to know Mallow and Gino for the first time. I love the original characters for this game, but you know, another time. I'm sure I'll bring it up at like GameList episode fucking, 31 in the middle of like July of 2024. I'll be like, oh yeah, I beat Mario RPG. Let's talk about it. This is why I love this game. Type of thing. Yeah. I don't know. It's good. It's just not for me, not at this exact moment. Do you think you'll ever find your way to this game?
No.
Okay.
Was that the wrong answer?
No, that's fine. I gotta grill you about Call of Duty, bro. Because we talked about this last episode, but I had just beat the campaign and the multiplayer hadn't come out yet. You had not played the campaign.
Yeah, I had not played anything last time we talked.
You beat the campaign?
Yeah, the campaign sucked.
Yeah, the campaign. The campaign's it's fine. It doesn't suck. I don't think it sucks. I think it's fine. I think it sucks. But compare it to nothing. You have to compare it to nothing. Black Ops 4.
Well, sure, but it's still a bad campaign.
Yeah, but
you can call something bad, like, we're not privileged to have it, I don't think.
I think we are, though, because we've clearly seen that they'll ship a Call of Duty without a campaign. So we literally are privileged to have it.
But we can still get something and call it bad. Like,
I guess so, yeah.
It's like when you get a code for a game, you don't have to say it's good just because they gave it to you.
No, of course not.
Yeah, so I think it's the same way here. Is we can call it bad.
Yeah, I just don't know. I didn't have the worst time with it, though. Like, it's fun shooting people in levels.
I've played a lot of Call of Duty campaigns.
Yeah.
And this is the worst one. Only followed by
Black Ops 4.
No. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022. That is the second worst Call of Duty campaign.
No shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what's So, but I am loving the rest of the game. I have had a great time with multiplayer. There's a mode called Cutthroat, I believe. It's a 3v3v3 mode.
Oh yeah, cool.
I got 2 of my pals on there. we were absolutely having a wonderful time. It's so sweaty,
Of,
but
like,
it's so
I think
fun.
it's Action Sack is what it's called. Like it's 4 teams of 3 in Halo 3 back in the day. It was so much fun. Very similar.
Yeah. Gunfight. You remember the gunfight mode from?
Is that
it's
where
like
you start
the
with like one gun and then you shoot somebody and you?
No, that's gun
get the
game.
better gun.
Gunfight was in Call of Duty 2019. It was like a 2v2 mode where you spawn in with random weapons and the team that win. Okay, well, anyways.
First Call of Duty in years for me.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, it's good. And I was the biggest critic of the zombies mode before it released. I've had a good time with zombies mode.
We played together.
Yeah, we played. That was the first
this month that we played together.
That's true. That was the first match that I played, and you played, I think.
Yeah, true.
And the last match that you played, but
correct. Also true. Doesn't do it for me.
But I've done like over 24 hours of the zombies mode. I've completed all 3 of the acts that were shipped with the base game. I got the bonus skin. I've had a fun time with it. It's still not round based. I still prefer round based zombies.
Yeah, it's just not my zombies, bro.
Time. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
I'm with you on multiplayer. The multiplayer is so fun. It's so frantic. The speed of the character and the movement feels right. It feels like the actiony Call of Duty that I've loved for so long. I've loved having it just installed on my console to pick up and play a couple games. There is a place for Call of Duty in my life still, and for the last few releases, I've thought that there wasn't, and I was sorely mistaken. So I'm happy to be back on it.
I maxed out the Battle Pass. I enjoyed it so much.
Pretty crazy.
The old
you haven't
Battle
played
Pass.
Warzone update over the last couple days, right?
No, I've not played anything of the season 1 because I've been gone with bad internet. So
been pretty good. I've liked my first few drops.
I'm excited. I'm excited to play it out. I'm very familiar with that map already because that's the map in Zombies.
That's right, Zombies.
So I'm very excited to play it.
Cool. Call of Duty, you know what you're getting into. Don't buy it for the single player. I need to talk to you about a mistake that I made.
Uh-oh.
I let Pikmin come and go this year, and I didn't give it the credit that it was due. And I'm obsessed with Pikmin 4. I am obsessed with Pikmin 4. I think this is such a divine little game. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I did play the demo, which is like a 3
I don't either,
demo.
Honestly.
Fuck you. Pretty extensively on like the May podcast or maybe even the April podcast of GameList. So we've talked about Pikmin 4 at length. The thing is that it didn't quite click to me at that time because I think I was approaching it the wrong way. I was kind of impartial on the game and I wasn't sure if I was going to buy it. And the more that I've heard other people talk about it and its like addictive nature, and the more that I've thought about Tinykin, which was on my Game of the Year list last year, the more I've realized that I needed to give Pikmin more time. So kind of on a whim, I was like, let me find out if I'm wrong. I used one of my Nintendo Switch vouchers and picked up Pikmin 4. I am now like 15 hours into the game and I've 100%ed the first level. I am at 97% on the second level, which I will finish as soon as I unlock what I'm missing from level 3. And I've started work on the 4th level as well. There is something so beautiful about this game's fucking progression, and I have to say, I know I memed on it so hard when Miyamoto came out and was talking about Dandori. But
the dog?
No, that's Ochi. Dandori is the art of... Let me bring up the exact definition of Dandori. It is very... Who's the girl? Does it inspire joy? Then throw it away or whatever? You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
Cool. Dandori is the art of organizing tasks strategically and working effectively to execute a plan. Practicing Dandori is assessing the situation and then just like going through and having your Pikmin and Ochi and your character do tasks in a way that is efficient and extremely satisfying. This game is fucking magical. It is the best. I streamed some of it, and I've been doing like the 100%ing off stream, and it's now an off stream game exclusively because I'm enjoying myself so much just kicking my feet up, watching a stream or watching a TV show and playing Pikmin at the same time. There's something about crossing things off the list and doing things the right way that makes me feel so fucking good. They nailed it. Pikmin 4 is entering my Game of the Year list extremely fucking high. I think I put it at like 6 or 7. And initially I was gonna fucking skip it, and I'm so glad that I didn't. It is a wonderful little video game. Can't recommend it enough if you like strategy games at all. Pikmin 4, baby. You got any questions?
Not really. I it's just not for me.
I didn't think
I
it was
don't
for
know.
me either.
I just don't know what my problem is with Nintendo games, but 9 out of 10 of them just don't interest me or hit me at all.
It's,
you know,
foolishness, I believe, is your thing with Nintendo games. That's it.
Tears of the Kingdom was all right.
I'm almost done playing Metal Gear Solid for the first time in my life.
Oh wow.
Game holds up. It's a little janky. It's tough to play. I'm playing it on stream. I'm glad I have some people helping me out.
Yeah.
But I've started my Metal Gear journey. I've said for a long time that Metal Gear is my biggest lapse in video games. You know, you and I talk shop all the time, and I'm sure you have some franchises like this too. Most of them probably Nintendo for you. But I know a little about a lot and a lot about a little, I often say, about like games that I've played. But oftentimes I don't have just like a really big gap of like I've never played a game in this series, and that's always been Metal Gear. And I respect Kojima and everything that he makes, and I never played Death Stranding either, but it was because I never got into Metal Gear and I didn't have that sort of like affinity for his work. I'm so glad I went back. Metal Gear Solid is fucking insane. It reminds me a lot of when I started listening to the Beatles and putting myself in that place in time and being like, God, if I would have heard this in the 60s or the 70s, this would have fucked my whole life up, and I would have just been so like obsessed with everything that the Beatles put out. I would have been obsessed with it. And I think about if I would have played Metal Gear Solid in 1999, it would have formed my entire gaming identity, and I would be a different person right now. Like, it's so good and it's so cool. Man. And because there's I know, right? No, because there's such a fucking runway ahead of me of Metal Gear games to play, I'm so excited to start in on this. I can't recommend it enough, and it's been really fun. I fucking got the vest and I put on the headband and I play Metal Gear on stream every Sunday night. It's become like a tradition. I recommend my stuff pretty often, but I'll give you an earnest recommendation. If you ever wanted to watch a Jake Twitch in full playthrough, the Metal Gear streams are fucking classics, all up on my YouTube page. There's only 4 of them so far. I'll probably finish the game tomorrow, or if you're listening to this tomorrow, tonight, or next week. We'll finish it by the end of the year, and then sometime in 2024, I'm going to start Metal Gear Solid 2, but I wanted to make sure I talked about that on GameList so that we'd have the opportunity to continue down my Kojima Metal Gear rabbit hole as I approach Metal Gear 2 and 3 and 4, and, you know, see how far into it I get. I think I'm committed. Like, I like this first one so much that I know it only goes up from there. There's only more to look forward to, so I'm excited to get there, without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's everything we've been playing, man, and I think that's all the news. We're not going to do what's coming up because everything is fucking out for the year.
Yeah. Actually,
looking at...
No, I can't think of anything. I was going to say something about Avatar, but
Avatar's out.
It's out. Yeah. Have you touched it?
No, not yet. I might. We'll see.
I think that's a after Christmas game for me.
Ooh, can I say this?
I don't know. Can you?
You talk about games. I'm going to look and see if I'm under embargo on this thing.
Oh, there was a couple other things at the Game Awards that we didn't chat about that I'll just briefly go over. There was, I'm just going to start from the top. A reveal trailer for Rise of the Golden Idol, which is like a mystery game. If you played Case of the Golden Idol, this is like the sequel. There was Unusual June. It's a new game developed by Finji, releasing in 2025. There is Harmonium the musical, which is a musical
game.
That
game looks fucking cool, man.
Yeah, it's a musical game made for deaf people.
A little bit Balan Wonderworld vibes. But
a little bit. I think it's the eyes. I think it's the character's eyes.
Well, the musical part is like Balan Wonderworld was like a stage play type of thing they were trying to pull off. Didn't go
Windblown, which is a game by the Dead Cells developers. It also looks like another roguelike.
What's that Dead Cells looking roguelike that is, or Metroidvania that's super colorful that keeps on popping up everywhere?
Oh, I think it's like
called like Oblivion or something like that. They talked about the
Ultimanium or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Is it the one that looks like acid?
Yeah, it's an acid trip.
Yeah.
I watched it at like the Future Game Show, or it was the Day of the Devs, and they were talking. They said it was like an earthen uterus or something like that. I was like, what the fuck is this game all about? Can I choose my thing real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna be in the Skull and Bones closed beta test. Ubisoft hashtag Ubisoft partner sent over a code, so the next time we have GameList proper, I'll be able to talk about that, which is so funny. And again, they can't buy my opinion, so I hope it's good. But we all know the story about Skull and Bones so far, so I'm really excited to get my hands on that game and form an opinion. But I'll be streaming that sometime in between.
If there was one of us that was gonna like that game, it would be me, I think. But
I'm gonna give it a shot. Help me out. There was in chat.
There was what?
I might be able to get you access to it.
Oh yeah, let me know. There was Thrasher. It's the new game from the creators of Thumper, but it's in VR. World of Goo 2. They showed off more Metaphor Refantasio, which looks better than it did last time.
And Persona
Still a
3
terrible
Reload.
name. Persona 3 Reload, Persona 4, Persona 5, whatever. This one I'm interested in. Exodus was the first big thing in the actual show of the Game Awards. It was the Matthew McConaughey introduced one. It looks very Mass Effect-y. And
yeah, we talked about it briefly and you got sidetracked.
Did we? I can't remember.
That was hours ago.
Oh, it looks good though. I'm very interested in it. God of War Ragnarok DLC. We talked about that. Oh, they showed Hellblade again. I can't wait for Hellblade.
Oh my god, that game is such a fucking snooze.
I cannot wait for that game. That's one of my most anticipated games.
I'm so out on that shit.
Ikumi Nakamura, the girl at Left Tango, she showed off her new independent game called Kimori. It was very stylish. Very stylish. But no,
I had a very embarrassing moment when she said the name of the game, Kimori. I thought she was saying Kimberly, so I thought the name of the game was Kimberly. I was like, oh fuck.
It looks very stylish, but we have no idea of what it is. We did get a new look at the Visions of Mana. It's a new Mana game.
I almost added this, but there's not much to write home about. I think it looks cooler than I could probably explain it. But new entry in the Mana series for the first time in a while. That's not like a remake or a remaster. It's pretty cool, fully 3D.
A new trailer for Rise of Ronin, which is the Koei Tecmo Team Ninja game that's going to come out on PlayStation 5. It got a release date. It got a release date of March 22nd, 2024. So that's coming out soon.
Very cool.
Reveal of Jurassic Park Survival. I think it looks very interesting. It takes place the day after the first Jurassic Park movie. And you're a doctor that got left behind and you're trying to survive and make your way out. First person survival game. Black Myth Wukong, which is a very inspired by Journey to the West. It's a very well known,
very double A looking video game.
Yeah, I got its release date for August 20th, 2024. More Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Nobody cares.
Yeah, still not a good look.
Yeah, there's a new game by the original Life is Strange devs, not Deck 9, but Don't Nod.
Oh yeah, this looks bad. It's like somewhere between Life is Strange and Stranger Things, kind of. Life is Stranger Things, so I'm gonna call that game. Good name.
I hate you sometimes, but it's called Lost Records Bloom and Rage. I'm interested in it. Yeah, whatever.
Oh yeah, I remember making fun of that fucking title. It's so stupid. Say it again out loud. It's funny to me.
Lost Records Bloom and Rage. Arriving late 2024, this game will see 4 women having to confront what definitely looks like a paranormal event from their teenage years.
Wow.
Which it did the thing in the trailer. It was like, it's been 27 years. Why now? Which I thought about it. Is it 27 years? Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same gap.
I think it's 27 years. There was the trailer for
there'll be a train run.
No.
You ever read It?
No, I've never read It.
At the end of the first act of It, all the guys bang the girl.
Oh, really? At the end of the first It?
Yeah, when they're kids. It's fucked up.
The redhead girl?
She takes all of their virginity. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Okay.
I don't know if I have all the details exactly right, but I'm pretty sure that's how it all plays out. Googling it?
Okay. I'm how to be in the book It. How long is I'm trying to find how long is the time gap in It.
All right, I'm gonna start going over our game of the year while you do that. You cool with that?
Wait, no, I'm not done. Hold on. You know what? I'll just go through those. Okay, we got the first Berserker, Kazan, which is like a action RPG game. Kind of looked pretty cool.
It's based off the Berserker anime, I think.
Yeah, Skull and Bones. It's the manga. Marvel's Blade. We got Twisted Metal Season 2, which I still need to watch.
Oh yeah, that was a cool like on stage reveal from Mackie. Had the platform in which to do it. It made sense to do. No trailer, nothing like that. Just ready to rip.
Last Sentinel was a trailer that came out that honestly I can't remember what it was, but it was Lightspeed Studios. It was like the cyberpunk looking one, I think. First Descendant was another game from Miho or whatever. I don't know. There was so many things.
Mihoyo, his Hoyo verse, and that's Zenless Zone Zero, which was also
ZZZ. I think this article that I'm reading is made by AI because some of these sentences are so miserably like written. It's terrible. Final chapter of GTFO, and then they said that their next game is Den of Wolves, which is like a tactical extraction shooter type thing. That was the one where they were fighting in like the big tall building, and he went out the window and got hit by a school bus or whatever.
Oh yeah, where you're fighting against the elements or whatever. Is that the one that we're talking about? Like it's like a tornado outside, and they're gonna master the disaster or some bullshit.
Sure, something like that.
Yeah, it looks very stupid.
Matt Mercer came out.
Just Cause type beat. Oh, Vincent Valentine.
Matt Mercer came out and talked about Asgard's Wrath 2
You know who Vincent Valentine is?
No.
He's the red guy from Final Fantasy VII. Matt Mercer's voicing him.
Oh, okay. I know Matt Mercer from Ganon, right? He voiced Ganon.
He's one of the four male voice actors that there are.
That's true. Matt Mercer, Troy Baker,
Arthur Morgan.
Oh, Roger Clark and Ben Starr. Sure. Anyways, so Asgard's Wrath 2 or whatever is a VR game made by
out
Sennaar.
In like 3 days. It looks fine.
It's made by Sennaar Games, who made Sly Cooper 4 and then ruined it, and then they got bought by.
It's also got
Oculus.
a big like first party meta push because you get that game for free if you buy a Meta Quest 3 this holiday season.
So it's a huge push. You know how they have those like 3D billboards in like New York and stuff. There's one right outside of the Microsoft Theater or the Peacock Theater where the Game Awards is, and whenever he was showing that like on the Game Awards on the screen, he talks about like there might be something waiting outside. He was talking about it. It was just one of those 3D ads on one of those billboards. Yeah. So everybody was standing watching that person along. Yeah. Fallout trailer. Hello Game shows Light No Fire. We got a first look at Exoborn. Post-apocalyptic extraction shooter from some of the old developers behind the Division, but we didn't get a look at that. Final Fantasy stuff, and then that's pretty much it that I can. Oh, and then Monster Hunter Wilds. But yeah, that is the quickest wrap up of the Game Awards I think I could possibly get through.
Good fucking show, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our Game of the Year list. I have the visual. I didn't show the list last time. People complained. That's my bad.
Oh, did they really? That's hilarious.
Yeah. I got the visual aid. We're gonna run through it. This is also the reveal of. We got a top 20 now. I have the first 10 on screen, but I'm going to read my top 20 games. Because this year is so spectacular, we're still going to focus on our top 10, but as things fall into the honorable mention, we're just going to rank what we have as they teeter up the list. So, Kaulin, you want me to read yours as well?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. My first is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, followed by Chia, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Xenoblade Future Redeemed, Spider-Man 2, Pikmin 4, Sonic Superstars, Street Fighter 6, Hogwarts Legacy, Assassin's Creed Mirage is number 10. Kaulin's top 10 is Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, Hogwarts Legacy, Oxenfree 2, you love sequels, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Cyberpunk 2077 2, or whatever the fuck it's called, Phantom Liberty, Lethal Company, Assassin's Creed Mirage, The Crew Motorfest, and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is your number 10. From 11 to 20 for me, I have Starfield, Theater Rhythm, Final Barline, Final Fantasy 16, Sonic Dream Team, Venba, F-Zero 99, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, The Crew Motorfest, Marvel It Up Ultra, and Suika Game. Kaulin 11 through 20 is Dead Island 2, Chants of Sennaar, Dredge, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Fort Solis. Solace? Okay.
Fort Solace.
Final Fantasy 16, Dead Space, Destiny 2, Lightfall, Modern Warfare 3, and Shadow Gambit. Is Starfield not on your... Oh my god, it's in your stinkers?
Yeah, Starfield's a stinker.
Oh,
dog.
no. All right, bro.
Starfield's a stinker.
Hey, listen, we put up almost a fucking 3-hour episode of... Imagine if we were doing, like, the coming soon and we had a full-on news month. It's been a fucking crazy episode. We ended up putting close, like, 2 hours, 45 minutes on the clock here, just talking shop about Game Awards and what we've been playing lately. The next time you'll hear from us is likely in 2024 when we are doing our final 2023 episode, season 2 wrap-up party, baby. We'll go over that list, make any last-minute changes, talk about our honorable mentions, talk about our stinkers. We'll be talking about the best AA game, our most anticipated game of 2024, best game to take screenshots of, DLC of the year, game we need an excuse to talk about, best platinum, best game that you didn't beat, least favorite thing, a whole bunch of fun little accolades and superlatives to go over. In the meantime, you sweet listener or viewer are going to go find us on another platform and like and subscribe and make our brain feel good and tell us something nice about the work that we do. You're also going to find Kaulin all over the internet at Kaulin_, Kauline. You're going to find me at Jake Twitchin' everywhere. It's like twitching with no G, but even easier, AmazingStreamer.com, baby. It's not a joke. It's the best way to find me.
Have you ever thought about adding a G?
No, I think twitching is cool. Like twitching. That's how I pronounce a lot of my words. I don't really speak like very formal English. Going shopping.
That's fair.
I'm not going shopping.
Let's go shopping.
Okay.
Let us go to the supermarket.
The arsonist had oddly shaped feet.
Oh, purple belly pig. Blah blah blah. The blah blah. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's what they were saying in the OD trailer for.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
The purple belly pig.
It's a weird trailer.
Yeah, it's very odd. Very
It was
odd.
good shit. Hey man, thanks for going to the Game Awards and coming back with all those stories. That was a really fun first hour of the stream, kind of going over some of the stuff and getting the inside scoop on like crowd reaction and whatnot behind the scenes.
Yeah, it was really awesome. I can't recommend going enough. Like it's a great experience. It's so cool to see so many of those people that I listen to and look up to all in one building. And it's one of those things that kind of like reinvigorates me in terms of wanting to make more content. It's just an amazing experience. I definitely recommend it to all. Also, if you buy a ticket, that's one ticket that some smelly bastard can't buy. So,
very good shit. Very good shit. All right, say our famous catchphrase to take us out of here, Kaulin. Thanks.
Should we talk about Marvel's Midnight Suns this year because it came out in late December?
No. That's why we do our sit in January. It was on your Game of the Year list last year. Fuck you.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
And you didn't like it that much. Thanks for listening.